I travel from one world to another doing wholesale sales, and you call this the end of the world? This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. Young people have no moral principles. Fuck. Su-wei was lying behind a shabby window, watching a fight not far away, stunned, because the main body of the fight was not human. A mutant dog over 1 meter tall and a zombie with sharp teeth and claws were fighting happily. Do you think this is a large-scale science fiction disaster movie? No. This is what he saw with his own eyes. The story has to start from the beginning. Su-wei, a senior student at Hudu University in Hudu City, took advantage of his spare time to deliver takeout and work part-time to earn some pocket money. 2 days ago, when he was delivering food and passed by Yuho Bridge near the school, he heard a painful groan from under the bridge and hurried down to check. He found an old man lying in the bridge hole, with a pale face, sunken eyes, and dirty and worn all over. It was obvious that he was hungry, so Su-wei quickly gave him the dinner he had bought. After eating, the old man was in good spirits, pulled Su-wei to praise him, and gave him a silver ring as a reward. Then the old man died. This scared Su-wei so much that he called an ambulance and the police. It was confirmed that the old man died of organ failure due to long-term hunger, and no identity information could be found. The matter was left unresolved. Su-wei also forgot about the ring. Until today, when he was washing clothes, he found the silver ring in his pocket again. He tried it casually, and it felt like a needle pricked him, and some more information came into his mind. This is a space teleportation ring with an unlimited storage space. There is also a key reminder that living objects cannot be stored in the space, so use it with caution. Curiosity kills the cat. Su-wei couldn't help but try to teleport, and he was really teleported to an abandoned small building, and saw the beginning scene from the window, and his heart was chilled. Zombies have emerged, don't you understand? It's a doomsday world. Su-wei has played many zombie games, but who can stand it when it really comes to it? So, goodbye. Su-wei was instantly transported back to the rental house. He felt a chill on his back even in the hot weather. He didn't say anything. He had a bottle of 1982 beer to calm his nerves. Ton disgusting. He felt better after finishing a bottle of 1982 beer. He looked at the ring on his hand again. It was so worthless. Tui, you coward. What is the end of the world? The end of the world is full of gold. A steamed bun can be exchanged for a young girl. Don't ask me how I know. It's written in the book. Su-wei suddenly fell into a crazy state. Is this the legendary alcohol that makes cowards brave? Drinking a little wine makes you so arrogant? After hesitating for a long time, Su-wei decided to go back and take a look. What if he hits the jackpot? Just do it if you want to. Su-wei found all the snacks in the house and found a sharp fruit knife from the kitchen. He felt unsafe and ran to the hardware store downstairs to buy 2 safety axes. He put all these things into the space. Then he tied the stainless steel cutting board to his chest as a breastplate. He found a few large and thick books and tied them to his arms and legs with transparent tape. Finally, he put on his cycling helmet. A simple set of armor was formed immediately, and he could do a few squats and frog jumps on the spot. Okay, nice teleport, what? As soon as he appeared, Su-wei was stunned, because there was a big and round butt in front of him. Tight black leather pants and a half-lying posture made the round curves particularly prominent. It was not difficult to recognize that it was a woman. From Su-wei's angle, although he could not see the other person's face, his intuition told him that the other person should be very young and beautiful. Well, a man's intuition. Gudong. Su-wei swallowed a big mouthful of saliva. Swish. The woman in black jumped up as if she had been electrocuted, and a beautiful long leg whipped over like a whip. Fuck, young people don't have martial ethics. Sneak attack. Su-wei subconsciously crossed his hands in front of his chest, and came into close contact with the beautiful long legs. Unfortunately, it was not as warm and soft as imagined, but it was like being hit by a Mercedes-Benz truck. The bones of his hands were about to break, and the whole person was like a kite with a broken string, crashing hard into the concrete wall behind. Cough. The severe pain almost made Su-wei faint, and a sweet and fishy taste appeared in his throat. Obviously he had suffered internal injuries. At this time, a chill came from his neck, and he looked closely. and the woman in black was close at hand, with a sharp dagger in her hand pressing on his aorta. Despite this, Su-wei couldn't help but lose consciousness. Long black hair, a face as beautiful as a painting, although her white face was cold as ice and her thin lips were a little pale, she was undoubtedly a super beauty who could score more than 95 points. "Who are you? Why are you here?" the black-clad beauty asked sternly. Before lurking, she had clearly checked the surroundings, so why did a living person suddenly appear? Guess what? Su-wei was still a little dizzy. "Stop talking nonsense. If you don't say anything, I will kill you with a knife." The black-clad beauty's cold voice was emotionless. "My name is Su-wei, I live here, but why did you appear in my house?" Feeling the cold blade, Su-wei forced herself to calm down. A sharp fruit knife silently appeared in her right hand, and the bright tip of the knife was facing the woman's slender and flat belly. Now it was the black-clad beauty's turn to be speechless. "Is this your home?" The black-clad beauty couldn't help but look around. Although she still looked cold, her tone was a little more relaxed. "What else?" Su-wei rolled her eyes at the other party. Although the small building was dilapidated, there were also traces of human activities. She thought it was a trace left by a survivor passing by. She didn't expect that there were still people living in such a dangerous city. Moreover, it seems that this guy named Su-wei is living a comfortable life. "Is there a dark room here?" The black-clad beauty made up some information on her own, which could explain why this guy suddenly appeared behind her. "HMPH, don't stand behind anyone casually in the future, otherwise you will bear the consequences." The black-clad beauty put away her knife and stood up. Although this is a wasteland world that eats people, she has a bottom line in her heart. "Hey," seeing that the black-clad beauty was about to leave, Su-wei couldn't help but chase her, but he was scared the next second. Because the other party once again did not follow the morals of martial arts and raised the sniper rifle in his hand. "Do you want to die?" The black-clad beauty's voice became colder, and there was a hint of disgust in her eyes. "Don't get me wrong. I just want to ask you some questions. I wonder if you are free," Su-wei hurriedly explained. "It's not easy to meet a similar person. How can I let him go easily?" "No time," the woman answered very straightforwardly. I can pay you." In the black-clad beauty's suspicious and wary eyes, Su-wei carefully took out a cookie from his pocket, actually in the space. For safety reasons, Su-wei tore off all the packaging at home. Seeing the brightly colored cookies, the black-clad beauty's eyes were straight. 10 years have passed, a full 10 years since the catastrophe, and the food that can be preserved so well is almost extinct. "Deal," the black-clad beauty agreed without hesitation. "What's your name, Zhang Ling?" The next question and answer allowed Su-wei to quickly understand the basic situation of this world. From the perspective of time, this is a parallel world similar to the Earth 500 years later. 10 years ago, an unknown virus swept the world, and 80% of humans were infected and became bloodthirsty creatures, the so-called zombies. After the virus broke out, 5% of humans fled the Earth on spacecraft and survived in space. The remaining 15% of humans survived under the dual threats of viruses and zombies. However, the disaster is far from over. The 5% of humans who escaped from the Earth brazenly activated nuclear weapons, intending to destroy the zombies through nuclear strikes, and then return to the Earth to rebuild their homes. However, the nuclear bombs not only failed to destroy the zombies, but also caused the remaining 10% of humans to die in the nuclear explosion, leaving only 5% of humans alive on the surface. Chapter 2 Stonewood Camp. Not sure if it was an illusion, Su-wei felt that Zhang Ling had an inexplicable hatred for him. Did she have relatives who died in the nuclear explosion? Wait, she didn't think I came from the sky, did she? Su-wei couldn't help but guess in his heart. "It's getting late, do you have anything else to ask?" Zhang Ling looked out the window and said. Not for now," Su-wei shook his head. "Then I'll go," Zhang Ling said, looking at the biscuits in Su-wei's hand. "Wait, do you want to regret it?" Zhang Ling's murderous aura surged out. No, I just want you to take me to Survivor Settlement." "Don't worry, I will pay you," Su-wei said, and took out a handful of biscuits from the space under the cover of his trouser pocket. The bright color was particularly tempting. Zhang Ling was shocked, and the murderous aura on her body became stronger. "Oh no, this young man wants to break the moral code again?" Su-wei was shocked. It seems that the principle of not showing off wealth is very practical everywhere. "These are my last savings, please help me," Su-wei hurriedly said in a pitiful manner. "Huh? I can only take you to the nearest Shimu camp. After a struggle, the murderous aura on Zhang Ling slowly dissipated. Deal. Su Wei hurriedly handed over the biscuits in his hand, but Zhang Ling did not reach out to take them. Instead, she directly opened the bag and let Su Wei put them in, without letting go of the gun in her hand. Although he was mentally prepared, when he walked out of the small building, Su Wei was still shocked by the desolation in front of him. The walls were dilapidated and overgrown with trees. Even after 10 years, the sky was still filled with gray nuclear dust, blocking the sunlight and making the world full of darkness. Chew. Zhang Ling on the side put a finger into her mouth and blew a low whistle. Roar. A white beast rushed out from the woods nearby. Oh my god, what is this? Su Wei took a few steps back in fear. Don't be afraid, it's a pet cat I used to raise, called Xiaobei. Zhang Ling stepped forward and grabbed the white beast. What? You call this a cat? Su Wei's worldview was completely destroyed. That thing was 2 meters tall when it was lying down. Even a lion was not that big. Xiaobei is a mutant beast, but she is very humane and will not hurt innocent people. Zhang Ling reached out and stroked Xiaobei's fur, with a hint of feminine tenderness on her face. Really? Su Wei still remained skeptical. Ao meow. Zhang Ling laid down and said something in Xiaobei's ear, causing the latter to shake his head and howl, with an unhappy expression on his face. However, Xiaobei finally nodded. Xiaobei will carry you on the rest of the way. Zhang Ling turned to Su Wei and said, I'd better go by myself. Looking at the fierce-looking Xiaobei, Su Wei felt a chill on his back. Are you sure you can keep up? Zhang Ling said as she jumped and was 10 meters away. Oh my god, Su Wei's chin hit the ground directly. Finally, Su Wei could only climb onto Xiaobei's back tremblingly. Hey. You know what? It's quite comfortable. There were so many zombies along the way, and there were all kinds of mutant beasts, which scared Su Wei's heart. Fortunately, there was Zhang Ling, who could always avoid them in advance and escaped without any danger. 2 hours later, Zhang Ling dropped Su Wei at the gate of a camp, then rode on Xiaobei and left. Thanks up, ugh. Su Wei ate a mouthful of sand and soil as soon as he opened his mouth. Shit, that big cat must have done it on purpose. The camp in front of him was a shelter built entirely of stones and logs, named Stone and Wood Camp. As long as you pay a certain amount of food tax, you can enter the camp and get the protection of the camp. But when the food is consumed, you will be driven out. Su Wei took out a piece of instant noodle cake and planned to go and exchange it for the right to enter the camp. But after remembering Zhang Ling's warning, he rolled the noodle cake on the ground, making it look a little dirty. Then, he rolled on the ground, making his clothes covered with dust and grass, and also tore several large holes. He made himself look like an ordinary scavenger. In this way, after a round of interrogation, Su Wei obtained the right to pass the camp for a week. Walking into the Stone and Wood camp, Su Wei almost vomited the overnight meal. The low stone and wood houses, the dirty streets, and the strange smell in the air made him feel like he had entered a primitive village. However, for people in the last days, being able to live in it is already considered aristocracy. Forget it, God will give a great task to this person, and he must first make his mind and body suffer. Su Wei muttered and went straight to the trading market. Here, food, weapons and potions are the mainstream, occupying 90% of the market share. In addition, there are also many messy and strange things. As long as they can be exchanged for a bite of food, the survivors will spare no effort to sell them. Food, Su Wei has no shortage, basically no need to look at it. Weapons, Xiago has strict control, so let's talk about it later. As for potions, there are healing potions that quickly heal wounds, healing potions that treat diseases, and even strengthening potions that can improve physical fitness. This reminded Su Wei of Zhang Ling's strength, but a thought suddenly popped up in his mind. The rich rely on technology, and the poor rely on mutation. So, let's wait and see about this potion. After all, I am also a man chosen by God, right? Su Wei shifted his attention to the sundries, most of which were electronic components. This world already has energy weapons, which are much more powerful than thermal weapons, but the disadvantage is that the consumables are too large. The wasteland world that has lost its industrial foundation can only rely on the inventory before the disaster. This kind of commodity is extremely precious, and its value even exceeds that of food. Of course, the Shimu camp is just a small settlement with a population of only a few hundred. Without energy weapons, there will be no such electronic components for sale. There are more civilian electronic products. For example, smart bracelets. Before the disaster, it was equivalent to a mobile phone, but with more powerful functions. After being equipped with a system with artificial intelligence, it can be called a crystallization of technology. Then, now half a steamed bun can be exchanged for a dozen. But this is too much ahead of time. Su-Wei can't just take it back and sell it for money. Su-Wei's focus fell on some yellow and white things, but unfortunately, in the whole market, no one traded gold and silver. However, thinking about it, I was relieved. The disaster has been over for a full 10 years. The basis of survival is food and weapons. Gold and silver have lost their value and become no different from stones. Hey, wait, that's gold bars. Just as Su-Wei was disappointed, he glanced at a roadside stall. A shabby table was missing half of the table leg. The stall owner used 1,000 grams of gold bars to pad it. Without saying a word, he bought everything with 2 biscuits, including the stall. The stall owner took the biscuits and ran away, and even laughed at Su-Wei and his heart for being a big idiot and a sucker. Those things were all picked up by him, and the stall was occupied casually. It was simply a business without capital. Su-Wei didn't care about those. Under the cover of setting up a stall, he quietly replaced the gold bars with stones, and then put them into the storage space without a trace. Finally, he packed up the rags on the table and carried them on his shoulders to take away to hide from others. In order to facilitate teleportation, Su-Wei directly exchanged a few biscuits for a small room, locked the door, and teleported back to the modern world from inside. As soon as he was teleported back to the rental room, Su-Wei ran excitedly to the door of the room opposite the bedroom, wanting to share his joy, but unfortunately no one answered after knocking for a long time. You didn't come back again. Su-Wei felt lost. In this room lived Su-Wei's roommate and girlfriend Liu Tingting, but she was always busy recently and they hadn't seen each other for several days. Su-Wei took out his mobile phone and called several times, but the other party didn't answer. Forget it, let's wash the gold first. Those gold bars have been exposed to the wind and sun, and have been stained with a lot of mud and sand. If it weren't for a coincidence that a hole was rubbed open, Su-Wei would not have noticed it. Wash, wash, wash. Oh, in the bathroom, Su-Wei took a shoe brush and brushed the gold bars one by one until they were very bright. Gold will always shine. Looking at the dozens of golden bars, Su-Wei's eyes turned into crescents. Wow! This is life. After washing the gold bars, Su-Wei sipped instant noodles, ate braised chicken legs, and drank beer, feeling extremely satisfied. After eating and drinking, Su-Wei lay comfortably on the bed, with more than 10 kilograms of gold as his pillow. That feeling so cool. Chapter 3 Those who humiliate others will eventually be humiliated themselves. Beep, beep. In the early morning, Su-Wei woke up from his sleep at the urging of the alarm clock. To be honest, I didn't sleep well last night. I was too excited in the first half of the night, and I was just restless in the second half. But Su-Wei likes this feeling, and I guess everyone would like it. After getting dressed, washing, and having a hearty breakfast, Su-Wei rode his beloved electric motorcycle to school happily. When he walked into the classroom, his classmates looked at Su-Wei with a weird look. However, Su-Wei didn't care. Ever since he started dating Liu Tingting, other people have never looked at him normally. Who made Liu Tingting the beautiful class flower? Who wouldn't miss her? Coincidentally, one night a month ago, Su-Wei bravely saved a girl on the way back from delivering a takeaway. This incident was accidentally searched and made the headlines. The overwhelming praise on the internet made Su-Wei famous. At this time, the girl who was rescued bravely stood up and boldly expressed her love to Su-Wei. She turned out to be the class beauty Liu Tingting. The hero rescued the beauty and promised her his love. This incident was immediately passed down as a legend on the internet, and Liu Tingting instantly gained hundreds of thousands of fans. After becoming famous, Liu Tingting began her own journey as an internet celebrity, live streaming to attract fans all day long, and also got several product endorsements, making a small amount of money. Unfortunately, Su-Wei didn't like to show up in public, and he was out of favor in a few days. Liu Tingting complained about this, but Su-Wei didn't take it to heart. Old Su, where did you go yesterday? How come I couldn't even get through on the phone? As soon as Su-Wei sat down, his roommate and best friend Zhang Dai and Zhuang Su came over. I took a job and was not allowed to bring my phone. What's wrong? Su-Wei laughed. They were in a different world, so how could the phone get through? Look for yourself, Zhang Su flipped out a photo from his phone and handed it to Su Wei. In the photo, Liu Tingting, dressed in a pink dress, leaned on a boy, looking like a little bird, with a sweet smile. The background was the school playground, and the photo was taken yesterday. Su Wei knew the boy, Guo Minglian, the president of the student union. It is said that his family owns a large company, and it is one of the richest families in Huidu City. Could it be a fan interaction? Su Wei couldn't help but feel depressed. Yesterday, someone sent Liu Tingting to class, and the two of them were so close that they hugged each other. Old Su, wake up, Zhang Su was angry. This was not something he made up. The whole class saw it. Old Su, it's true, Zhang Doi, who was standing next to him, also nodded. I'll go find her. Su Wei got up and ran out of the classroom. Old Su, Zhang Doi and Zhang Su hurriedly chased after him. Downstairs of the girls' dormitory, a fiery red Ferrari sports car was parked at the door. Guo Minglian, dressed in international brands, stood by the car, looking elegant and graceful. Tingting, seeing Liu Tingting coming out, Guo Minglian immediately went up to her and handed her a fiery red rose. Wow! So romantic, cool. For a moment, many people were watching, and many people looked at Liu Tingting with envy. Thank you, Liu Tingting took the rose shyly, and her heart was already smiling. Especially when she heard the words of envy from everyone, she felt like she was going to heaven. Tingting, you are so beautiful today. Looking at Liu Tingting's appearance, Guo Minglian felt itchy and wanted to pull her into the car right now. Is it only beautiful today? Liu Tingting pouted her lips deliberately when she heard the words. It's just a slip of the tongue. Our Tingting is beautiful every day. Guo Minglian, an old hand in the flower world, pretended to slap himself twice. Hey, Liu Tingting was so scared that she hurriedly grabbed him, and as a result, his pink little hand was grabbed by him. Forget it, Liu Tingting did not struggle, and let Guo Minglian hold her little hand. Liu Tingting, just then, Su Wei came over. Ah! Su Wei. What are you doing here? Liu Tingting was startled and subconsciously pulled out the hand held by Guo Minglian. What for? Of course I came to see. After all, seeing is believing. Su Wei looked at Liu Tingting angrily. HMPH, Tingting, haven't you broken up with him? The moment Liu Tingting pulled her hand away, Guo Minglian's face turned cold. Su Wei, we are over. Please don't bother me again in the future. Seeing Guo Minglian angry, Liu Tingting suddenly changed her usual gentleness and said coldly. Just because I don't agree to live broadcast with you. Su Wei suppressed his inner anger and asked curiously. He really didn't know that the cute girl who took the initiative to confess to him would become so indifferent. Su Wei, let's break up in peace, okay? Liu Tingting continued to say indifferently, with a hint of impatience and annoyance on her face. Now she is already a well-known internet celebrity. If she can get the support of the Guo family, she can go further. The most important thing is that Guo Minglian can give her money, status and fame. Haha, Su Wei, right? Thank you for being Tingting's stepping stone. You will definitely feel honored for this in the future. Because I have decided to train Tingting into a super internet celebrity. Guo Minglian looked down at Su Wei and said with the attitude of a superior. Really? Liu Tingting was surprised and smiled. Ha ha ha, of course, who else can I support if I don't support you? Guo Minglian's laughter was full of pride. Thank you, Mr. Guo. Liu Tingting was ecstatic and completely ignored the existence of Su Wei. Let's go, I'll take you to the company now. As he said that, Guo Minglian impatiently pulled Liu Tingting into the car. From beginning to end, he never looked at Su Wei. At this time, Zhang Dai and Zhang Su happened to rush over, holding Su Wei tightly on the left and right, fearing that he would be impulsive and unable to control himself. Graduation is just around the corner, and it's not worth it to cause trouble at this time. Old Su, don't be sad, there are plenty of fish in the sea. I'll let Xiaoxin introduce you to a better one. Looking at the silent Su Wei, Zhang Su hurriedly comforted him. That's right, Old Su, this woman is too shameless, it might be a good thing to leave her. Zhang Dai also followed to comfort him. Hey, what are you two doing? Do I look like someone who can't get over it? Su Wei broke free of their hands and said calmly. I do. Zhang Dai and Zhang Su nodded in unison. Get out, go wherever it's cool. Su Wei was so angry that he wanted to kick the two of them away. I'm glad you're okay. We all thought you were in love with Liu Tingting. Zhang Dai and Zhang Su finally breathed a sigh of relief. I did consider it before, but now, humph, Su Wei's eyes flashed with anger. It was only a month, so it was not unforgettable, but being played like a monkey must have been hard on me. Old Su, are you really okay? Zhang Dai could not help but feel a little worried. Huh, I'm fine. Let's go. Those who humiliate others will eventually be humiliated themselves. Su Wei calmed down, and his eyes were a little more fierce. Chapter 4 Gold Diggers. Su Wei did not return to the classroom. After refusing the company of his two best friends, he returned to the rental house alone and then teleported to the wasteland world. The dozen kilograms of gold were only worth 3 or 4 million at most. If it were in the past, Su Wei would definitely be very satisfied, but now, it is far from enough. He wants to trample this world under his feet and let Liu Tingting spend the rest of her life repenting for the mistakes she had made. While thinking, Su Wei came to the trading market. The streets here are full of high technology, but moving back to the modern world is not something that can be done in one fell swoop. Now Su Wei just wants to find a way to make money quickly. The fastest way to make money is to speculate in stocks. I don't know if the high technology in the wasteland can come up with a great stock speculation software. If it can, then you can make money lying down. Thinking of this, Su Wei walked straight to a stall that traded smart bracelets. The stall owner was a middle-aged uncle, who was skinny due to hunger. A pair of glasses with broken legs hung on his ears with a thin rope, showing his vicissitudes. Boss, what do you need? Seeing someone approaching, the middle-aged uncle hurriedly struggled to stand up. Uncle, do you know about intelligent brains? Su Wei asked straight to the point. Yes. I am a postdoctoral fellow in intelligent brains. Before the catastrophe, I was engaged in the research of intelligent brains. The middle-aged uncle hurriedly took out an old piece of cardboard from the inner pocket of his worn-out clothes. On it was his photo, name, education and position. If it was before the catastrophe, this would have been a certificate of owner with extremely high gold content, but now it is too hard to even wipe your butt with. Ji Tongguang, Su Wei took a look at the name on the certificate. Yes, it's me. Boss, do you need to repair the intelligent brain or write a new program? I'm not bragging to you, in the entire Shimu camp, no, within 100 miles, you can't find anyone who knows more about intelligent brains than me. The middle-aged Uncle Ji Tongguang hurriedly wiped his face to make his hungry face look more energetic, and then he strongly promoted himself. And I'm cheap, just one steamed bun, whatever job you assign to me. Ji Tongguang was extremely hungry. He hadn't eaten for a few days, and if he didn't open the shop, he would starve to death. Can you make a stock trading software? Suitable for the stock market 500 years ago? Stock market, 500 years ago? Ji Tongguang thought he had heard it wrong. Why? Can't you do it? Yes. Give me 3 minutes. Up. Ji Tongguang directly turned on his smart brain and started to tinker with it, leaving Su Wei standing there in a daze. I thought it would be very difficult, but it only took 3 minutes. It was a bit of an IQ crush. 3 minutes passed quickly, and Ji Tongguang raised his head at the right time and pulled the virtual screen in front of Su Wei. Boss, look, this is what I modified based on a popular stock trading software 300 years ago. This software caused turmoil in the stock market at that time, and was eventually banned worldwide. But its core program is very representative, so it was written into the textbook when it comes to professional knowledge. Ji Tongguang changed his decadence and talked big. As he was demonstrating, the software had already started running on the virtual stock market established by the intelligent brain. It was very powerful and easy to operate. Transfer funds, select the range, and then run it with one click. The program would analyze the stock market situation by itself, and then buy low and sell high, or sell high and short. In short, everything was based on profit. It would sell immediately after reaching the set value. At the same time, it was equipped with an early warning mechanism of the intelligent system, and it could also automatically correct. If there was a deviation, it would automatically stop the loss. In just a few minutes, an account with 10,000 yuan earned tens of millions of virtual currency. Gold Digger, Su Wei looked at the software with his eyes shining. I used the name of the previous software. Boss, do you think it's okay? Ji Tongguang said with a greedy look on his face. Obviously, he regarded this request as a test. Can this software run on a computer from 500 years ago? Boss, don't joke, that's absolutely impossible. Although the Gold Digger is very powerful, it cannot lack the core system of artificial intelligence. Without artificial intelligence, it is just an empty shell, which can be seen but not used. Can it run on a bracelet? Su Wei casually pointed at the smart bracelet on the stall. Yes. But this is just an ordinary smart ring, and the speed and compatibility are not high. Ji Tongguang nodded. Do you have advanced ones? Su Wei asked casually. Yes, look. This is a scientific research-level smart ring, with performance comparable to that of an intelligent brain. It is not only extremely highly configured, but also equipped with the latest version of artificial intelligence. Even before the catastrophe, it is comparable to the military type. Ji Tongguang immediately took out the treasure from the bottom of the box. The appearance of the scientific research-level smart ring is much more bloated than the regular one, but the technological design makes it look very cool. How do you trade this? Su Wei took a fancy to it at first sight. 1 pound of rice? Ji Tongguang made a price timidly. After the catastrophe, this kind of electronic product is equivalent to garbage. Apart from the sentiment attached to it, this thing is worthless. Deal. Su Wei had no intention of bargaining. Thank you. Ji Tongguang was stunned for more than a minute before he thanked him repeatedly. At this moment, he almost regarded Su Wei as a confidant. But I have a condition. Unfortunately, Su Wei could not understand Ji Tongguang's eyes. Boss, you say? I need the smart ring to synchronize with such a mobile phone, and it must be compatible with the hardware and software of the mobile phone. As he said, Su Wei took out a latest Huawei mobile phone and handed it to Ji Tongguang. Mobile phone. Ji Tongguang took the antique mobile phone and swung it. No problem. 1 hour. Ji Tongguang quickly understood the situation of the antique mobile phone. Su Wei nodded and stood by and waited. In less than an hour, Ji Tongguang handed the advanced smart bracelet and mobile phone to Su Wei. Boss, it's done. Thank you for your hard work. This is your reward. After Su Wei took the things, he reached into his backpack, but actually took out a bag of rice from the storage space. This was the bulk rice he bought at the supermarket, which was packed directly into a bag of 1 pound. Thank you, boss. Ji Tongguang felt a sharp drop in his hand after receiving it, and was moved to tears. After returning to the modern world, Su Wei went out to find a few small gold shops without stopping, sold a few gold bars in his hand, and earned more than 1 million Xia coins. Although the price was greatly suppressed, he didn't care. Now only a small amount of startup capital is needed to start the gold digger to make money continuously. After obtaining the funds, Su Wei went to the securities company to open an account and open an overseas account. Although he was now full of anger, he did not intend to make money in the domestic stock market. It's boring to make money from your own people, but it's refreshing to make money from the world's financial giants. Everything was ready. Su Wei connected the bracelet to the network. After an hour of updating, the artificial intelligence completely mastered the network information of this world, and also updated the database of the gold digger. At 9:30 p.m., Su Wei sat on the sofa in the living room, staring at the virtual screen in front of him, which was showing the operation screen of the gold digger. As soon as the ME stock opened, the gold digger automatically bought crude oil. Because the funds were not much, the amount bought was not much. 1 million Xia coins were only more than 140,000 Mi yuan, which was not even a grain of sand in the huge ME stock. A few minutes later, in the rising trend, the gold digger quickly sold, and the 140,000 Mi yuan immediately doubled several times and became more than 600,000 Mi yuan. A few minutes later, the gold digger bought crude oil again, but this time it was all shorted. After the rising crude oil index soared, it quickly fell back and soon approached the opening price. However, the gold digger did not wait to buy the bottom, and sold it again in the downward trend, doubling the funds again to more than 1.2 million Mi yuan. From an outsider's perspective, Su Wei's account is operated by a highly skilled but cautious trader. Otherwise, with the powerful computing power of the gold diggers, if they cap or bottom every time, it will easily attract the attention of others. As the capital gradually increased, the gold diggers immediately split up and invested in multiple lines. Each operation was just right, allowing the capital to gather like a snowball. Su Wei kept staring at the screen. Although it was just a series of numbers jumping, watching the rapid growth of capital, the excitement in his heart was indescribable. At 1 o'clock in the morning, the capital in Su Wei's account had reached 37.56 million Mi yuan, which is more than 250 million yuan if converted into Xia currency. Even if the 10% channel commission is deducted, there are still more than 200 million left. My God, it has only been a few hours, and the small goal of 100 million has been exceeded. This speed is faster than a money printing machine. However, Su Wei lost his initial excitement and couldn't help yawning. When wealth accumulates to a certain height, it is just a string of numbers. I'm so sleepy. Forget it. I won't watch it. Anyway, the system will automatically settle. I can just look at the profit tomorrow morning. After the excitement, Su Wei was so sleepy that he turned off the screen and went to bed. Nothing happened all night. The next day, Su Wei slept until after 10 o'clock. He turned on the smart bracelet and a virtual screen was immediately projected in front of him. Fuck, looking at the numbers on the account, Su Wei jumped out of bed in shock. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, and hundreds of millions. A total of 230 million yuan, which is more than 1.2 billion Xia yuan in Xia currency. It's just one night, and the funds have exceeded 1 billion. What about a month? Su Wei couldn't imagine it. But making money is a good thing after all. Su Wei issued a command to the artificial intelligence to leave 100 million yuan in the foreign account as capital and transfer the rest to the domestic account. Ding. Account transferred 1 billion Xia currency. When Su Wei finished washing and eating breakfast, the bank notified that the funds had arrived. Chapter 5. Come on. Looking at the many zeros on the bank card balance column, Su Wei smiled so hard that his mouth was about to split. After a luxurious breakfast, Su Wei rode his electric donkey to go to the farmer's market to buy some. The wasteland world has brought Su Wei unparalleled wealth. He is not a ruthless person. On the contrary, he values friendship very much, so Su Wei wants to do something for the wasteland world. The human beings there live too hard. While shopping, Su Wei saw a kind of rice and whiteboard packaging. He was immediately ecstatic and bought it all directly, but it was a pity that there was only a little more than 1 ton. After asking around, he learned that the rice came from a small food processing factory in the suburbs and could be customized directly. This immediately aroused Su Wei's interest. Although there is not much food needed now, it is always good to prepare for a rainy day. But the problem is that his electric donkey can't ride that far. How about buying a car first? Yes, I want it. Having money means being willful. Su Wei went straight to the luxury car store. Welcome. After entering the store, a high-quality beautiful customer service came up. This kind of high-level specialty store has one-on-one customer service. Even if you just come to wander around, there will be someone to accompany you throughout the whole process. This is the style. Sir, what kind of car do you want to see? The beautiful customer service was wearing a navy blue worksuit, revealing a pair of white long legs. The black patent leather high heels on her feet made a pleasant sound when they stepped on the ground. But for some reason, her eyes were a little red and swollen, and slightly wet, as if she had just cried. Does Bugatti have a car in stock? Su Wei was in a hurry and had no time to pick and choose. If he was not satisfied, he could just change it later. Well, having money is so willful. Well, there is, but there is only one Bugatti Veyron special edition, and the others need to be reserved. The beautiful customer service was obviously stunned for a moment. Okay, give me one. Su Wei directly threw out his bank card and led the sultry. The beautiful customer service was instantly not good. Brother, this is a luxury car worth 45 million, not cabbage. Have you really thought about it? What's wrong? Su Wei looked at the stunned beauty. Although she was beautiful, he was in a hurry. No, nothing. Please come this way. The beautiful customer service quickly welcomed Su Wei to the VIP room. Sir, what's your last name? Su Wei sat down on the sofa. The beautiful customer service then bowed and handed him a cup of hot tea. A fragrant breeze followed. Ahem, please don't call me Su. Su Wei was choked and quickly opened his eyes and looked at the VIP room. There are single-sided glass here. You can see outside from the inside, but you can't see inside from the outside. Well, it's very romantic. Style. Mr. Su, please wait a moment. I'll go get the contract now. After saying that, the beautiful customer service got up and left the VIP room. In less than 3 minutes, the beautiful customer service came in trotting, panting slightly, and moving up and down. Mr. Su, do you have any other requests? The beautiful customer service quickly walked to Su Wei and squatted beside the coffee table to sort out the documents she brought, revealing her beautiful curves. It has to be fast. Su Wei quickly used drinking water to divert his eyes. "Okay, Mr. Su, don't you want to go and see the car?" the beautiful customer service asked while filling out a contract. "You won't deny it if there are any problems, right?" Su Wei asked directly. "Of course not, then no need. Can you help me get the license plate?" "Yes, Mr. Su, the cars in the store have already applied for temporary license plates, and they can be driven away now. The license plate will be provided within 3 working days." "That's good." The beautiful customer service was very fast. After completing the formalities, she swiped the card directly, and 45 million was spent. Su Wei didn't even frown. At Su Wei's request, the car reception ceremony was waived, and a black Bugatti Veyron Special Edition was delivered directly to the door. But when he got the car keys, Su Wei couldn't help but stand in the wind and get messy. It seems that he hasn't taken the driver's license test yet. Sloppy. Mr. Su, Mr. Su. Is there anything else you need? The beautiful customer service on the side looked at Su Wei curiously. "I don't have a driver's license yet." Su Wei smiled awkwardly. "So embarrassing." The beautiful customer service opened her mouth in shock, as if she felt it was impolite, and quickly covered it with her hands. "Ahem, Mr. Su, we have a designated driver service here, who can help send the car back." The beautiful customer service realized that she had lost her composure, and quickly corrected her attitude, saying very gently, "Well, that's all I can do." Su Wei couldn't help but look disappointed, and the food processing factory could only be visited another day. "Mr. Su, please wait a moment." The beautiful customer service seemed to have guessed something, and trotted into the store again. "Mr. Su, where are you going next?" "I'll be your driver." After a while, the beautiful customer service came out, holding a small leather bag in her hand. "Will this delay you?" Su Wei was stunned. "I have already asked for leave from the company. Besides, serving customers is my job," the beautiful customer service said with a smile on her face. "Humph, you're still pretending with me, aren't you just greedy for my body?" "It just so happens that I'm greedy for you too." From the bottom of her heart, the beautiful customer service didn't believe that Su Wei didn't have a driver's license. "Okay, I'll treat you to dinner tonight as a thank you." Su Wei didn't think too much about it. After handing her the keys, he naturally got on the passenger seat. The beautiful customer service got in the car and started the engine. "Mr. Su, where are you going now?" "We go Wipu Industrial Park." Su Wei gave the name, which is where small food processing factories gather near Hudu City. "Okay, Mr. Su." The beautiful customer service entered the destination into the navigation, and then skillfully drove the Bugatti out. "My name is Su Wei. What's your name, beautiful lady?" The two began to chat on the way. "My name is Li Zia Oman, and my friends call me Zia Oman." Having a specific name indicates a change in their relationship, at least they can be regarded as ordinary friends. It must be said that having a beautiful driver is not only pleasing to the eyes, but also relaxing. After dozens of kilometers of road, they arrived unknowingly. "Mr. Su, we're at the industrial park. Where are you going specifically?" Although the two chatted happily along the way, Li Zia Oman still insisted on addressing Su Wei with respect. In her opinion, this ordinary dressed Su Wei is definitely a rich young man who came to experience life. Su Wei didn't care too much about this. "It doesn't matter if it's less. It sounds pretty exciting, doesn't it?" Zia Oman, drive slower and go around first." Su Wei didn't know which company it was. Li Zia Oman didn't ask much, and slowed down to walk around the park. Wipu Industrial Park is an industrial park developed in Hudu City in the early days. It was originally intended to attract some large enterprises to come in, but because of the poor geographical environment and the change of leadership, it gradually became unpopular. However, because of the cheap land price, it attracted some small factories to settle down. Finally, Su Wei chose a processing plant called Shawanjia. Although this factory is small, it operates many products, such as rice, cooking oil, bacon, sausage, etc. When Su Wei saw the bacon, his eyes lit up. This is more convenient than canned meat. So Su Wei directly signed a 500,000 yuan order contract with Shawanjia. In addition to rice, oil and bacon, he also asked the factory to OEM and purchase some canned meat, compressed dry food, condiments, etc., and then remove the labels and package them on whiteboards. Although Su Wei's request was a bit strange, since he was the financial sponsor, the factory director naturally agreed. This order was equivalent to the factory's half-year income. Su-wei took Li Xiaoman with him throughout the whole process, and others naturally regarded her as the boss's secretary. Let's go, let's go. Su-wei refused the factory's retention and fled back to the car with Li Xiaoman. There was no way, those people were too enthusiastic. Isn't it just an advance payment of 80% of the payment? Is it necessary to make such a fuss? Haha, Mr. Su, you really spend money like water. People treat you as the god of wealth. Li Xiaoman looked at Su-wei's embarrassment and couldn't help smiling. That's just the beginning. Come on, I'll treat you to a big meal. You really helped me a lot today. Without having to fiddle with the food himself, Su-wei's mood was very good. With the support of these foods, he was ready to go to the wasteland world to do a big job. Where to eat? Li Xiaoman asked with a smile. After getting familiar with each other, she knew that Su-wei didn't like to be polite, and it was better to be straightforward. You order it. Su-wei shook his head. He used to work in the cafeteria, so how could he know a good place? I know a good Western restaurant, how about going there? Sure. Chapter 6 If I don't work, you can support me. Zikanhei is a mid-range Western restaurant in Huadu City. The average consumption per person is a few hundred yuan. It can be seen that Li Xiaoman has no intention of ripping off a fool. At first, she thought Su-wei was a rich kid, but after half a day, she changed her mind because Su-wei's temperament did not have the pride of a rich kid at all. It made people feel very comfortable and unconsciously wanted to get close to him. Although I don't know what he does, it does not affect Li Xiaoman's decision to make friends with him. Western food is a mood, steak, dessert, and red wine. The two drank red wine while eating steak and chatted about everything. The red wine was getting less and less, and the distance between the two was getting closer and closer, and finally they just sat together. The meal took nearly 3 hours, and when they came out, it was already dark. Both of them couldn't drive after drinking, so they simply booked a room in the star-rated hotel next door. This night is destined to be a world of turmoil. In the morning, Su-wei woke up from his sleep and shook his head at Li Xiaoman, who was sleeping soundly. Quietly got up and took a cold shower to make himself completely sober. Looking at himself in the mirror, Su-wei felt as if he was in another world. A few days ago, he was still a busy career boy, but now he has been staying out all night. Isn't it too fast to be a scumbag? But I like it. So what if I was loyal before? I was still treated as a spare tire and a licking dog. Kicked away when I was no longer needed. Thinking of Liu Tingting's arrogance and indifference, the last trace of guilt in Su-wei's heart disappeared. Creak. The bathroom door was opened, and Li Xiaoman walked in, hugged Su-wei from behind, and said softly, "Honey, I thought you left. How could it be? I'm still waiting for you to take me home. You really don't have a driver's license." Of course it's true, otherwise, I thought you were approaching me on purpose. There's nothing wrong with saying that. She's a beautiful woman. Who doesn't like her, huh? I knew it. Li Xiaoman pouted a little dissatisfied, but she knew in her heart that Su-wei was not a beast she could feed. Can we go now? Su-wei turned around and distanced the two of them, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous. Let's go. Alice. You have the body of a lady and the life of a maid. Li Xiaoman couldn't help complaining. Why don't we not go to work? Su-wei took Li Xiaoman's hand and walked out of the room. If I don't go to work, will you support me? Li Xiaoman said coquettishly. Okay. Su-wei stopped and looked at Li Xiaoman seriously. Li Xiaoman didn't expect Su-wei's attitude to move her so much, but she felt a sudden panic in her heart, and hurriedly laughed and changed the subject. Haha, I'm kidding. Isn't it good like this now? Sure enough. Su-wei felt cold in his heart, and the glimmer of hope that had just risen was ruthlessly cut off again. Okay, Su-wei laughed along. Then the two went to the restaurant to have a hearty breakfast, and Li Xiaoman drove Su-wei back to the rental house. Li Xiaoman never thought that Su-wei, who bought a luxury car casually, actually lived in such an ordinary community. What made her speechless was that there was no private parking space, but a luxury car worth 45 million was parked in an open-air public parking space. It attracted a crowd of onlookers, and with a beautiful driver, it gave people endless reverie. As soon as the two left, many people came up to take pictures. No one expected that there was a rich man living in this community. Su-wei and Li Xiaoman exchanged contact information and then separated. However, before leaving, Li Xiaoman introduced a companion who could help Su-wei get a driver's license quickly. Back to the rental house, Su Wei was teleported directly to the wasteland world. I don't know if it was because he didn't check the almanac, but Su Wei ran into trouble as soon as he went out. A girl in a dirty coat was being driven out by the guards of the camp. The reason was naturally because she had no food to pay taxes. Wait a minute, looking at the thin back, Su Wei couldn't help but feel sympathy. Who are you? Don't mind your own business. The leading guard was a middle-aged man with a bald head and a big beard. There was a scary scar from his left eye to his chin, which looked a bit scary. I paid her food tax, Su Wei said, taking out a bag of rice weighing 1 kilogram from his backpack and throwing it over. Hiss, the bearded man caught the rice, and there was a touch of surprise on his face. The quality of this rice was really good, just like it was newly grown. But as far as he knew, the land in the wasteland world had been polluted, and it was impossible to grow new food. Why? Not enough, Su Wei asked impatiently. Enough, enough. She belongs to you, the bald man said, pushing the girl in front of Su Wei, and then led the people away quickly. Thank you, the girl said to Su Wei timidly. When Su Wei saw the girl's face, he couldn't help but be shocked. It was a face that made people scared. It seemed to have been burned by a fire. The whole face was covered with ugly scars. With unkempt hair and dirty face, it was simply a stranger who should stay away. Are you alone? Su Wei's eyes showed sympathy. I'm with my brother, but he hasn't come back for 3 days. The girl's voice was very soft, but very pleasant. Su Wei was silent for a while, which was almost a declaration of death in the wasteland world. You will follow me from now on, until your brother comes back, okay? Su Wei added one more sentence after he finished speaking. He didn't want to destroy the glimmer of hope in the girl's heart. But, I have nothing, the girl's eyes showed a trace of uneasiness. I need an assistant to help me. Don't worry, I will pay you, Su Wei patted the girl's thin shoulders. Just give me food, I don't need any reward. The girl's smart big eyes showed a glimmer of light. By the way, what's your name? Su Wei smiled indifferently. Yuna, the girl answered in a low voice. Su Wei took Yuna back to the hut, and sold a house next to it with food, so that Yuna could live alone, which was much more comfortable than her shack outside. After leaving some food for Yuna, Su Wei went out to the trading market. His goal today is to buy a strengthening potion. Boss, how much is the strengthening potion? Su Wei walked into a store called the pharmacy. It was filled with bottles and cans of different colors, and the ground was littered with plant fragments, animal bones, and or debris, etc. It felt like entering a garbage room. Level 1 strengthening potion costs 1 jin of rice, level 2 strengthening potion costs 5 jin of rice, and level 3 strengthening potion costs 10 jin of rice. A white-haired old man sat on the potion counter, staring at the potion in his hand without raising his head. Oh, can I exchange it with other food? Although there was rice in the space, it was not convenient to take out more than 10 jin at once. Su Wei planned to try with the biscuits and instant noodles in his bag. Let me see. The old man put down the potion in his hand and stood up. Oh my god, he is actually a big guy of 1.9 meters. This old man is so powerful. How much is this worth? Su Wei directly took out a piece of instant noodles. Huh? The old man couldn't help but be surprised when he saw what Su Wei was holding. The golden and crispy dough exuded a rich aroma. It was obvious that it was high-quality food. This was a good thing that was in short supply. 1 level 1 to 3 strengthening potion each. Would you like to exchange it? The old man looked at Su Wei with hope. With this high-quality dough, he could exchange it for some rare materials. Okay, Su Wei nodded in agreement. Anyway, he had enough food. The old man immediately took out 3 amber potions from the cabinet, each with a number on it. The larger the number, the darker the color. I suggest you stay in the camp and wait until the 3 potions are absorbed before leaving, the old man kindly reminded Su Wei after watching him put the potions into his backpack. There were many people with ulterior motives in the camp. He dared to guarantee that as long as Su Wei left the camp now, he would be robbed on the road. Thank you for the reminder. I wonder what your name is. Su Wei was slightly stunned when he heard this. Isn't it said that people in the last days are as cold as ice? My last name is Qin Hong, everyone calls me Lao Qin, Old Qin, goodbye. After leaving the pharmacy, a few men followed Su Wei intentionally or unintentionally. Fortunately, Old Qin reminded him, otherwise Su Wei would not have noticed them. It seems that we can never let our guard down. Su Wei quickly returned to the cabin, and then returned to the modern world from there. Chapter 7 Strengthening Potion. Knock, knock, knock. Su-wei had just teleported back to the rental house when there was a knock on the door. Su-wei put down his backpack and opened the door, only to see a middle-aged man with a Mediterranean look standing in front of the door. "Hey, landlord, why are you here? If you don't pay the rent today, the room will be taken away. Did you forget?" The landlord looked at Su-wei with contempt. "Oh, I remember, 1,200, right? I'll transfer it to you now." Su-wei took out his mobile phone and transferred it directly to the landlord. Ding, 12,000 yuan has been received through Alipay. The landlord's mobile phone immediately received a notification of the arrival of the account. "Oh, I accidentally pressed an extra zero." Su-wei then realized that he had transferred the money to the wrong person. "Oh, Xiaohu is quite rich. I'll return it to you." After receiving the rent, the landlord took out his mobile phone with a smile on his face. "No need, Uncle Wei, just consider it my advance payment, and rent it for another 10 months, Su-wei said generously. It was too troublesome to go back and forth. Okay. I won't disturb you from sleeping, bye." After saying that, the landlord left happily. After the landlord left, Su-wei took out the level 1 strengthening potion and drank it in one gulp. Disgusting and indescribable taste stimulated Su-wei's taste buds, and he almost vomited, but he still swallowed it forcefully. A stream of heat rose up, warming his limbs, but then there was a burst of piercing pain, which made him sweat profusely. It lasted for more than a quarter of an hour before the pain gradually disappeared. Great, feeling that his body's strength had increased by more than double, Su-wei's mood suddenly improved. It was just that there was a foul smell, and some black impurities were discharged from his body. Su-wei hurried into the bathroom and took a cold shower. He found that not only his skin became tighter, his muscles were slightly bulging, and his height also increased a little. Not feeling the bottleneck that Qin Lao mentioned, Su-wei drank the level 2 strengthening potion again. The pain was more intense and lasting. But the effect was very gratifying, and his strength increased by more than 3 times. The potion was absorbed surprisingly smoothly, and Su-wei drank the level 3 strengthening potion again. That taste, oh my god, whoever uses it will know. This time it was even more terrifying. The strength was directly increased by more than 8 times. I took the 40-kilogram grip bar I used for practice before to test it, and the result was that it was twisted into dough. Nice. At this moment, Su-wei in the mirror had muscles comparable to those of a bodybuilding champion. He was barely 1.7 meters tall before, but now he has reached 1.8 meters. His clothes became short in an instant. Fortunately, it is summer now, so wearing short clothes does not look abrupt. Gurgle. Narcissistically posing in front of the mirror, a strong feeling of hunger suddenly hit, and he felt like he could swallow a cow. He found a lot of food, which was 10 times the usual amount. After eating it, Su-wei felt satisfied. This may be the side effect of strengthening, which seriously restricts the strengthening of humans in the last days. But for Su-wei, it is not a problem at all. Eating food can make you stronger. Where can you find such a good thing? After eating and drinking, Su-wei practiced Bajiquan in the living room. Tajiquan can bring peace to the world, and Bajiquan can determine the fate of the world. This is what it means. Speaking of which, this boxing method was taught by Su-wei's grandfather. In the past, it was used as a toy to strengthen the body, but now that his physique has been improved and his strength has been strengthened, Su-wei suddenly felt the extraordinariness of this boxing method. There was a faint sound of thunder between the punches, showing his domineering power. Perhaps because of his boxing practice since childhood, Su-wei quickly mastered the new power and was eager to fight, but unfortunately he had no opponent, so he had to give up. After a while, Su-wei found the phone number of the accompanying driver and called it, and went directly to the VIP customer. The next morning, a middle-aged man with a kind face came downstairs to Su-wei. But when he learned that he had to use the 45 million Bugatti Veyron to learn to drive, he was not feeling well. This is 45 million, not 4,500 yuan. If it is bumped, will he be responsible? So he was more nervous than Su-wei along the way. Fortunately, after the strengthening, Su-wei's senses were greatly enhanced. It is not an exaggeration to say that he has a photographic memory. In addition, his body coordination is excellent. After watching it several times, he learned how to drive. In less than half a day, he drove as smoothly as eating and drinking, which surprised people. Finally, the middle-aged uncle patted his chest and guaranteed that he could find someone to apply for a driver's license as quickly as possible, and then sent it together with a license plate. As expected, Su Wei received a call from Li Xiaoman the next morning. Mr. Su. The license plate and driver's license have been issued. Are you at home now? I will send them to you. Okay. I'm here. Okay, I'll be there in 1 hour. After that, Li Xiaoman hung up the phone. Su Wei opened the bracelet to check the performance of the gold diggers. Wow, he made 3.7 billion yuan last night. Keep 1 billion yuan and transfer the rest. The balance of the bank card instantly soared to more than 30 billion yuan in Xia currency. Nice. He called home to report that he was safe and told his family that he had made some money. Then he transferred more than 100,000 yuan to his family to pave the way for future changes. After lying down and watching videos for a while, Li Xiaoman called and said that she had arrived at the gate of the community. Su Wei quickly took his phone and ran downstairs. It turned out that Li Xiaoman was not alone, but also had a male colleague. Let's have dinner together later. Looking at the male colleague installing the license plate, Su Wei asked Li Xiaoman, who was standing beside him. I do want to. But I have to go back to work. Can we make an appointment on the day off? Li Xiaoman smiled playfully. She was wearing a professional suit, long legs and black stockings, which made her look particularly beautiful. Okay, call me when you have time. If you can't get through, leave me a message. With others around, Su Wei didn't try to persuade her to stay. The license plate was installed quickly, and after Li Xiaoman handed her driver's license to Zuhu, she went back to the company to work. It's time to go back and take a look. Su Wei looked up in the direction of the school, turned around and got into the car. Buzz! The Bugatti Veyron made a loud bang, and then turned into a black lightning and rushed out. In more than 10 minutes, Su Wei drove to the school. With its cool appearance and shocking street blasting sound, he immediately became the most handsome guy in Hudu University. Fuck. Bugatti Veyron Special Edition worth 45 million. Soon, the model was searched on the internet, and the price together with the whole campus went crazy. What BMW? What Ferrari? What rich second generation? Compared with it, all of them became younger brothers. For a while, the group and the school network were full of photos of a black Bugatti Veyron, and the topic of guessing who the owner was directly pushed to the headlines. All the posts about Su Wei being dumped were suppressed. Unfortunately, when the others chased to the parking lot, the owner of the Bugatti Veyron had already left, and no one saw who he was. Although the person was not caught, the car was there. As a result, more and more people gathered in the parking lot, and there were more and more photos of this Bugatti Veyron on the internet, even to the point of being overwhelming. Su Wei didn't pay attention to the campus network. After getting off the car, he went directly to the classroom. Naturally, he didn't know that he and his car had become so popular. Old Su. You are finally resurrected. As soon as he entered the classroom, Zhang Dai and Zhuang Su came to greet him. It has been 3 days, and the phone has not been answered, and the person can't be found. If Su Wei doesn't show up again, they will not be able to help but call the police. Is it so exaggerated? I just took a short vacation. Su Wei laughed, indescribably sunny and handsome. Seeing Su Wei's full of energy, the two of them were relieved. Wait, what brand of feed have you eaten these days? Zhang Su suddenly found something wrong. He actually had to look up to see Su Wei's face clearly. This time it was even more incredible. He looked like Panan. Why didn't I think this guy was more handsome than me before? Eat your sister. You eat feed. Su Wei was so angry that he cursed. No, you. Zhang Su stretched out his hand and compared the heights of the two people, his face full of confusion. At this time, Zhang Dai also discovered that he used to be a little taller than Su Wei, but now Su Wei is half a head taller than him. Secondary development is not good. Su Wei rolled his eyes at the two people and said casually. He had no way to explain the matter of the strengthening potion. Zhang Dai and Zhuang Su looked unconvinced. Could it be that a broken heart can also make you taller? The two wanted to ask more, but Su Wei had already walked towards his seat. At this time, the others realized that Su Wei had come. They were just paying attention to the information about the Bugatti Veyron and didn't pay attention. Now seeing Su Wei, the gossip fire about him being dumped by Liu Tingting a few days ago was burning again, and some classmates even immediately posted Su Wei's photos on the internet. For a while, the headlines of Su Wei being dumped began to become lively again, and it was fairly overshadowing the Bugatti Veyron. However, many people found a problem. That is, Su Wei in the photo seemed to have been reborn, exuding vigor and vitality, without any trace of the pain of a broken heart. This is unscientific? From beginning to end, Su Wei did not even look at Liu Tingting, who was sitting there. It was not that he was pretending to be noble, but he suddenly felt disdainful. To him now, Liu Tingting was just like an ant. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8. A large number of school beauties are coming. How can he be so indifferent? Liu Tingting, who was sitting in her seat, saw the reborn Su Wei and felt indignant. Should he be heartbroken and pestering her to the end? HMPH, poor as a slut. He must be pretending. I don't know how painful he must be now. He still wants to play hard to get with me, no way. Thinking of this, Liu Tingting instantly regained her incomparable sense of superiority. She knew Su Wei too well, a typical warm-hearted good guy, but this was not her cup of tea, so she dumped him after using him. At the same time, in a classroom of the music department, there sat a girl wearing a white dress and a pair of gold-threaded sandals, revealing her porcelain white calves and flawless toes. She looked like an angel in the legend. She was He Shuang, the most famous school beauty in the history of Huatou University. Are you okay? Looking at Su Wei's sunny smile in the photo, He Shuang looked confused and fell into memories. That night, He Shuang and her bestie sneaked out to play, but when they came back, they met a few drunks. They were so scared that they ran away in a hurry. He Shuang sprained their ankle in a panic and was about to be killed. Su Wei happened to be passing by delivering food, and he knocked down the drunks with 3 punches and 2 kicks, and then took her away on a small electric donkey. After that, Su Wei enthusiastically helped buy medicine and deliver meals, and took care of He Shuang for more than a week. However, He Shuang did not live in the school, so almost no one knew about this. After He Shuang's foot recovered, Su Wei disappeared automatically. Soon, the eternal story of him and the class flower Liu Tingting spread. When the news of their breakup came out, He Shuang ran to find him, but unfortunately Su Wei had returned to the rental community and went to the wasteland world, and even the phone could not be reached. Ding dong. At this time, people began to reply on the school network forum. All the words were slanderous to Su Wei. Among them, Liu Tingting also revealed how stingy and hypocritical Su Wei was, and that his heroic deeds were just a show to attract everyone's attention. It was precisely because of this that she broke up with him without hesitation. Under Liu Tingting's blood and tears accusation, everyone began to bombard Su Wei and said that he was worthless. Of course, Guo Minglian's shadow was indispensable. In order to maintain Liu Tingting's positive image, he must spare no effort to discredit Su Wei. He Shuang became more and more angry, so she also logged on to the school network and replied, "People do things, and God is watching. Don't let good people feel disappointed." This sentence immediately aroused 1,000 layers of huge waves. Oh my God. The school beauty of He University is online. He fans number 1, come to protect you. Support, He fans number 2. Come to report, support, He fans number 3. For a time, He Shuang's fans rushed in and directly dominated the screen. Wait, what topic was discussed? Who cares? Only the posts of He Shuang were all pushed up. The later ones could not see the previous replies, but this did not affect their support for He Shuang. They pushed up all the posts and drowned out all the other rumors. Bullshit. Guo Minglian, who was scrolling through the screen, threw his phone away. Originally, his target was He Shuang, a student union president and a national school beauty, a perfect match made in heaven. Unfortunately, she didn't even look at him, so he had to shift his target to the famous Liu Tingting. Unexpectedly, He Shuang openly spoke for Su Wei. Could it be that the two of them were having an affair? Thinking of this, Guo Minglian felt annoyed for no reason. Humph, dare to steal my limelight, I will make sure you never stand up again. Guo Minglian's eyes flashed with a hint of cruelty. He reached out to pick up the phone and found Liu Tingting's number. Su Wei did a lot of good things. Although not many people knew about it, Su Wei still enjoyed it. It was not until that heroic act was exposed that Su Wei's image as a living Leifeng became familiar to people, but his popularity surpassed Guo Minglian, the president of the students' union. Su Wei was unaware of Liu Tingting's narcissism, Guo Mingliang's jealousy, and He Shuang's support. At this moment, he was concentrating on the class. After strengthening, he already had the ability to remember everything he saw, and learning was no longer a problem for him. He finished today's course in a short while. Next, Su Wei was not idle. He took out his mobile phone, connected it to the smart bracelet, and checked some information from the wasteland. Time passed like flowing water, and it was lunchtime in a blink of an eye. Wow, as soon as the teacher left, a shocking sound broke out in the classroom. Guo Mingliang, dressed in a beautiful outfit, walked in with 99 roses in his hands. The huge flowers made him look halo and successfully attracted everyone's attention. All the girls in the class looked at Liu Tingting with envy, as if she was the happiest woman in the world. The boys all looked at Guo Mingliang. He was young and rich. Who wouldn't like him? I wish I could be the one standing there. Guo Mingliang looked at Su Wei provocatively, then walked towards Liu Tingting with a smile on his face. Is this forcing dog food? Liu Tingting was so happy that she almost fainted. Guo Mingliang just said that he would come to see her after school, but she didn't expect it to be such a romantic ceremony. She stood there blankly until Guo Mingliang approached and put the flowers in her hands, and then Liu Tingting came to her senses. Tingting. Happy birthday to you, Guo Mingliang said affectionately. Liu Tingting is also an acting school. After a brief absence, she immediately entered the role and excitedly hugged Guo Mingliang and kissed him affectionately. Oh, roar, one more, the class was boiling. Boring, Su Wei smiled indifferently and lowered his head to look at his mobile phone. In his eyes, the performance of the two at this moment was no different from that of clowns. To be honest, Liu Tingting is not as beautiful as Li Xiaoman. Wow, at this time, a burst of shocking sound broke out in the classroom again. Su Wei looked down at his phone, completely immersed in the ocean of knowledge, indifferent. Snap! Suddenly, a pair of flawless white and delicate hands were placed on Su Wei's desk. The pink nails matched the white and slender fingers, which were beautiful, and a faint fragrance like jasmine came with it. Oh, why are you here? Su Wei looked up and almost dropped his phone. A beautiful face was close at hand, smiling at him. Wasn't it the school beauty of He University? Speaking of which, they haven't been in touch for a while. I'm here to invite you to dinner. He Shuang stretched out her hand and touched her soft long hair. Her eyes smiled like crescent moons, and the corners of her mouth were slightly raised, revealing cute little tiger teeth, pure and innocent. No need, Su Wei couldn't help swallowing his saliva. If he didn't swallow it, he would be choked to death. At the same time, the sound of saliva rose and fell in the classroom. From the moment He Shuang appeared, the whole classroom seemed to be still. Everyone kept their own movements, staring at the most beautiful school bell in history. You have the heart to refuse. He Shuang's mouth corners were slightly flat, and she looked extremely aggrieved. The temperature in the classroom immediately rose. The boys looked at Su Wei with eyes full of fire. He dared to make the school bell, unhappy. It's not a pity to die. Hey. It seems that something is wrong? No matter what, as long as the school bell, is unhappy, they are unhappy. Okay, Su Wei stood up hurriedly. He Shuang immediately smiled, took Su Wei's arm and pulled him out. Oh my god. Damn it. Damn it. After the two left, a level 10 storm immediately blew in the classroom. The most beautiful school bell in history actually took the initiative to ask Su Wei out? What kind of operation is this? Countless people made heartbreaking sounds. Poor Liu Tingting and Guo Mingliang were completely forgotten, standing there like fools. I'm not dreaming. Zhang Dai looked confused and stretched out his hand to pinch his thigh hard. It doesn't hurt, is it a dream? Zhang Dai looked surprised. Get lost, you're pinching me. Zhang Su slapped Zhang Dai's dirty hands away, and then sent the photos he had just taken to his girlfriend Hu Xiaoxin. Because his girlfriend is also in the music department. Soon, Hu Xiaoxin received the photo of the school beauty of He University holding Su Wei's arm, and instantly a 12-level typhoon blew up in the music department. Guo, let's go. Seeing Guo Mingliang's gloomy face, Liu Tingting hurriedly hugged his arm with a forced smile. Where to? Guo Mingliang looked at the backs of Su Wei and the other person, and his voice was cold. Let's go to eat. You gave me such beautiful flowers, of course I have to thank you, Liu Tingting said as she rubbed Guo Mingliang's arm in her arms, and her desire to please him was beyond words. Eat shit, Guo Mingliang shook his hand and walked out. Compared with the school beauty of He University, Liu Tingting was not attractive at all. Mr. Guo. Liu Tingting's face changed, but she soon chased after him with a pitiful look on her face. Student He, what's the show you sang today? In a coffee shop outside the school, Su Wei had a bitter face. If he went to the cafeteria, he would be surrounded. Why? Is it not good? He Shuang smiled cutely. Huh? It can't be said to be good or bad. It's just too sudden. Besides, aren't you afraid that doing this will affect your reputation? Su Wei asked curiously. No. We are friends. Isn't it normal for friends to invite friends to dinner? He Shuang had a serious expression on her face. Huh, that's true. Su Wei was stunned for a moment, then laughed. Today, he can face the campus beauty he calmly. Chapter 9, The Elegant Dynasty. After having lunch with the school beauty of He University, Su Wei returned to the classroom leisurely. At this time, everyone looked at him differently. They thought he was a bronze player, but he turned out to be a king. He was dumped by the class beauty, but a school beauty came. Who can he go to for justice? The school website was even more chaotic. The school beauty of He University actually took the initiative to ask someone to have lunch together, and it was in a romantic cafe. He fans almost fainted in the toilet. So, Su Wei became famous again. After being dumped by his class beauty girlfriend, he successfully hooked up with a school beauty. Oh my god, is this guy the nemesis of flowers? If it weren't for the class, someone would probably rush in and carry Su Wei away. But Su Wei didn't care about all this. He was quietly learning the knowledge he needed in the classroom, like a whale sucking water, unstoppable. Lao Zhang, Zhangsu, let's go and have a drink. As soon as the get out of class was over, Su Wei called the two of them. It happened to be Friday, and it was the weekend, so it didn't matter if they had some fun. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Last time, I even made an appointment with a beautiful girl, but you dared to stand me up and lost contact on the phone. That's too much, Zhangsu said and gave Su Wei two small fists. He is a small second-generation rich man, and his family is well off, so he spends a lot of time chasing girls. He is considered a class idol. Sorry, okay, since you are so proactive today, I will forgive you. But you have to drink 3 glasses of wine first. No problem. By the way, why don't you invite the school beauty? Forget it, we are not very familiar with each other, okay, just show off. Let's go. I'm hungry, Zhang Dai said, hooking Su Wei's shoulder and walking out. Zhangsu followed behind them. They walked through the campus and arrived in front of the school gate. Huzi, where are we going to eat? The old place, Zhangsu asked on the phone behind. Huga Dynasty. Su Wei raised his hand to hail a taxi. If you go there to drink, you can't drive yourself. Oh my god, Huzi, are you serious? The two were startled, and Zhangsu, who was on the phone, ran over to confirm. Huga Dynasty is the most luxurious hotel in Huadu City, not just one of them. Of course. Call your girlfriend, we have plenty of money today, Su Wei said domineeringly. Huzi, just order whatever you want, we don't care about that. Zhangsu couldn't help but persuade him. That's right, Huzi, that kind of place is not only expensive, but the food is not good either. It's better to go to barbecue, Zhang Dai also said. Don't worry, I know, let's go, Su Wei said as he stuffed the two into the car. Yes, he did stuff them in. With his current strength, he didn't use much effort, but the two's attention was attracted by Huaga Dynasty and they didn't notice anything different. Master, let's go to Huaga Dynasty, Su Wei said to the driver after sitting in the passenger seat. Okay. Sit tight. The driver stepped on the accelerator and rushed out. Well, Huzi, Xiaoxin and her roommates all want to go, so how about I pay for the meal today? Zhangsu, who was sitting in the back row, asked with an embarrassed look on his face. Xiaoxin was Zhangsu's girlfriend. She just heard about Huaga Dynasty on the phone and thought he was treating her. So she asked her roommates to come along. It's okay. It's more lively with more people. Let them take a taxi, Su Wei said with a smile on his face. Well, okay, Zhangsu didn't say anything more and just called back. But he was planning to pay for the bill in advance. With his financial resources, it was a bit difficult to have a meal at Huaga Dynasty. He was afraid that he would have to eat dirt for the next half month. But for his brother, let alone eat dirt, he would even stick his neck out. Huaga University is not far from the city, and it took half an hour to reach Huaga Dynasty Hotel. There is a square garden in front of the hotel that is as big as a football field, which is enough to show its luxury, not to mention that it is backed by the Mirror Lake, which is known as the Pearl of the Plateau and is the business card of Huadu. Welcome, sir. Are you here to stay or have a meal? As soon as he entered the room, a beautiful receptionist in Cheongsam came up to greet him. Let's have a meal. Su Wei glanced at the magnificent hall and said casually. How many people are there? 3 at the moment, and 4 have not arrived yet. Find us a bigger private room. Su Wei counted the number of people and said casually. Sorry, sir, all the private rooms are fully booked today, and there are only vacancies in the hall. Is that okay? The beautiful receptionist said apologetically. Is there no room left? Su Wei glanced at the hall and asked. The environment is good, but he mainly doesn't want to be disturbed. Sorry, there are indeed no more. There are only luxury VIP rooms left, but you need to become a member to use them. The beautiful receptionist nodded politely. Member? How do I apply? Su Wei became interested as soon as he heard it. Sir, you can become a member of Huagna Dynasty by recharging 1 million yuan, and all fees will be calculated at 20% off, the beautiful receptionist said casually. In her opinion, these people might be scared, as there are very few people who would recharge 1 million just for a meal. Okay, let's get one, Su Wei said, and directly threw out his bank card. Ah, the beautiful receptionist was obviously stunned. Why, is there any problem? Su Wei asked back. Sorry, no problem, please come this way. The beautiful receptionist hurriedly took Su Wei and others to the counter. The next thing went very smoothly. They recharged 1 million to apply for an anonymous VIP card, and then asked for a luxurious VIP room with a table for 10 people. Fuck, Lao Su, you robbed the bank. Zhang Su couldn't help but burst out with a swear word. Until they sat on the leather chair, the two of them still felt confused. Su Wei actually spent 1 million without blinking an eye. If robbing a bank was so easy, I would have done it long ago. Su Wei smiled and continued, since we are all brothers, I won't hide it from you. I've recently followed a great man, a financial genius, who plays with stocks, funds and so on, and makes a lot of money. Oh my god, please hold my thighs. Just then, Zhang Su's girlfriend Hu Xiaoxin came with her group of girlfriends. Su Wei and the others' topic naturally ended. However, with these preparations, Zhang Su and the others were able to let go, and with the girls joining in, the atmosphere naturally became lively. You can order any delicacies from land and sea, and you can have lobsters and abalone. Red, white and yellow, 3 colors of drinks are served in turn. It's so refreshing. Hu Xiaoxin and the others studied music, and they are definitely the ones who are responsible for the appearance. From time to time, they improvised a song, which pushed the atmosphere to the peak. Chapter 10, Between Clouds and Water. On Saturday morning, Su Wei woke up in his dormitory bed. He had been drinking until the evening yesterday. Zhang Dai and Zhang Su were completely drunk, but Su Wei was not drunk. After being transformed by the strengthening drug, his body had a high resistance to alcohol. It was not an exaggeration to say that he could drink 1,000 cups without getting drunk. It was too late when he carried the two back to the dormitory, so he went to sleep in the dormitory. Hu Xiaoxin and the other girls were fine. They only drank a little red wine and juice. No one was drunk, otherwise it would be enough to give Su Wei a headache. The snoring in the dormitory was still going on. It was estimated that he would have to sleep for a whole day. There were originally 4 people in this dormitory. In addition to Su Wei and the other 2, there was another person, but given his character, it was better not to mention him. Su Wei got up quietly, took a comfortable cold shower, and quietly left. The campus morning was very quiet on the weekend. Su Wei put his hands in his trouser pockets and walked along the path towards the parking lot. When he was almost there, he ran into Liu Tingting, who looked tired. It can be said that enemies meet on a narrow road. Su Wei, Liu Tingting was immediately furious when she saw him. Guo Minglian was very angry yesterday because of him. She had to let him toss and turn all night before he could make her happy. She was so tired that her back and waist ached and her mouth cramped. What's wrong? Su Wei asked with a bad look on his face. What the hell is your expression? It's as if I dumped you. No. Liu Tingting was frightened by Su Wei's momentum. Only then did she realize that they had broken up, and she was the one who dumped him. Thinking of Su Wei's meticulous care and love in the past, Liu Tingting couldn't help but feel a little melancholy in her heart. Goodbye, Su Wei didn't bother to pay attention to this disgusting woman and just walked away. You buzz. Liu Tingting was about to call Su Wei to vent her inner irritability, but was interrupted by a low roar. Then, in her extremely shocked eyes, Su Wei opened the door of a super cool sports car and got in, then stepped on the accelerator and drove away. How is it possible that a black Bugatti costs 45 million? Liu Tingting opened her mouth so wide that a nest of eggs could fit in it. The Bugatti Veyron that was making a lot of noise on the school website yesterday was actually driven by Su Wei. Is he an invisible rich second generation? No, this is absolutely impossible. Liu Tingting covered her head to calm herself down. She had already found out about Su Wei's family. How could a farmer like him afford a Bugatti Veyron? Did he rent it and deliberately show off in front of me? Yes, it must be like this. Humph, hypocritical man. Liu Tingting forced herself to think so, and then turned around and walked towards the dormitory building. Su Wei naturally had no idea of Liu Tingting's endless imagination. Even if he knew, he would just laugh it off and not care. He drove the Bugatti Veyron back to the rental house, but he couldn't find a parking space after 2 turns. Just by a house, Su Wei turned the steering wheel and drove straight to Yunshujian. Yunshujian. The top-notch property in Huidu City is surrounded by mountains and water, and not far from the city. However, Su Wei was coldly received at the Yunshujian sales center. It was mainly because he didn't pay much attention to his clothes and was too young. In addition, there were many people today, so no one paid attention to him after walking around. Only the rich or noble can come here. A young man like Su Wei, who was wearing a lot of brands, was unconsciously ignored. Hey, are you selling this house? Su Wei was a little angry and walked behind a woman who was looking at the sand table and asked. Huh? The woman turned around and looked at Su Wei with a confused face. What? Aren't you a staff member here? Su Wei was also stunned for a moment. Because the other party was too beautiful, plus the mature charm, she was simply the leader of the royal sister world. But she was clearly wearing a similar all uniform. Yes, of course. Sorry, sir, I didn't notice you just now. What kind of house do you need? The woman quickly reacted and greeted him with a smile. One smile can conquer a city, and another smile can conquer a country. Su Wei felt relieved after laughing. There was no way, beauty was just that powerful. How much do you sell this villa for? Su Wei was ready to do it all at once. He had money anyway. The villas in Yunshujian are divided into 3 categories. The first type is duplex, each covering an area of 300 square meters. Each unit is priced at 6 million. The second type is a single-family house, covering an area of 600 square meters, and each unit is priced at 12 million. The third type is a Xia-style courtyard house, covering an area of 1,200 square meters, and each unit is priced at 36 million. The beautiful woman pointed to the model on the sand table and listed them out like a treasure. Are they all finely decorated? Yes, especially the courtyard house. Each unit has a different style. Take me to see the courtyard house. Okay, this way, please. The beautiful woman took the lead and walked out of the exhibition hall. Several sales ladies ran over with panic on their faces, but she waved them away. Riding on a battery car, they came to the courtyard house numbered 1. The house has 3 courtyards, and the spacious gate is carved with dragons and phoenixes. There is a small garden at the entrance, equipped with 7 or 8 parking spaces and a security room. The second entrance is designed with a living room, guest rooms, garden, small artificial lake, etc. The third entrance is the private room, equipped with a kitchen, bar, hall, garden, swimming pool, etc. There are a total of 20 houses, which are well arranged and unique. Compared with the Western-style board houses, Su Wei prefers this ancient Xia style with the green bricks and green tiles, and fell in love at first sight. Okay, this is it. Su Wei directly threw out his bank card. Ah, the beautiful woman was stunned. This beautiful woman is called Xia Wei, and her real identity is the general manager of Ziwei Group. Today she just came to inspect the real estate work, but she didn't expect to be drafted by Su Wei. Xia Wei was more curious about this sunny and fierce-looking reckless guy, so she played a guest salesman, and she didn't expect him to buy a house at all. What? Don't you understand, Xiaoyu? Su Wei was unhappy. Nothing? Are you sure? Xia Wei confirmed again. Don't be that brainless rich second generation again, who thinks he can add conditions through sale based on his appearance. If that's the case, this guy will definitely be in trouble. Of course, I want to move in now, please hurry up. Su Wei had an excited expression on his face. At this moment, the attraction of the house was obviously greater than the beauty in front of him. Okay, please go back to the exhibition hall to handle it. For some reason, Xiao Wei actually felt a little disappointed. Could it be that she was old and ugly? With that, the two took the battery car back to the sales center. Chapter 11 I'm not happy with you. Boss Xia, Mr. Luen is here. As soon as he arrived at the door, a pretty lady came up to him, looking nervous. What? Boss Xia, Su Wei was shocked to get a general-level service. Is Yan Shujian so awesome? Secretary Zhao, take this Mr. Su Wei to handle the formalities for courtyard number 1. Xiao Wei frowned when she heard that. Oh, wire, I didn't believe it when I heard them say that you took clients to see the house. I didn't expect it to be true. Is your company in such a difficult situation? Do you need the president to show up in person to attract customers? I told you not to be busy here anymore. Come back to Beijing with me today and get married. I'll give you whatever you want. How great. Before Secretary Zhao could reply, a man in a suit and a big haircut came out. He was followed by several bodyguards in black. Luen Guoqiang, we are not familiar with each other. Please call me by my full name, Xiao Wei. Also, don't worry about the situation in my company. Go back and dream about your life. Xiao Wei had a cold and beautiful face, and her eyes were full of disgust. What the hell? What's going on? Su Wei couldn't help but look gossipy. If this woman was really the president of a real estate company, how could she come to be his shopping guide? He completely forgot that he was the one who took the initiative to find her. Xiao Wei, don't you want to see me? Luen Guoqiang narrowed his eyes. More than that. I feel sick just thinking about you. Even if all the men in the world died, I would not marry you. Xiao Wei had a look of deep disgust on her face. I don't know what this guy did that made the beautiful president hate him so much. Humph, Zhang Lang, destroy that kid for me. Luen Guoqiang snorted coldly, and his narrow eyes looked at Su Wei like a poisonous snake. What the hell, what's going on? Su Wei was just about to take out some melon seeds. What are you going to do? He's just an ordinary guest. Xiao Wei's face changed drastically, and she stepped forward and blocked Su Wei. You are a CEO, and you personally took people to see the house, and you said it was an ordinary guest? Are you kidding me? I didn't expect that you, Xiao Wei, have also learned to keep a gigolo. But I tell you, whoever dares to touch you, I will kill him. As for whether I can do it, you know it in your heart, Luen Guoqiang said arrogantly. You bastard. Xiao Wei's face turned red with anger. Zhang Lang, why don't you do it? Luen Guoqiang urged impatiently. Yes. Young Master Luen, Zhang Lang is about 1.8 meters tall, with tendons all over his body. When he stands forward, he gives people a suffocating pressure. Miss Xia, I'm sorry. Zhang Lang raised his hand, pushed away Xiao Wei who was blocking in front of him, and walked towards Su Wei behind him. Stop. Luen Guoqiang, tell him to stop. I'll go back to the capital with you. Xiao Wei knew she couldn't stop Zhang Lang, but couldn't bear to see innocent people implicated, so she could only grit her teeth and shout. Zhang Lang. Luen Guoqiang's face was full of joy, and he shouted, and Zhang Lang's big hand stopped outside Su Wei's attack range. Haha, did you see that? I said you had a gigolo and you didn't admit it. What's the use of being good looking? You're still under my feet. Haha. Su Wei suddenly laughed nervously twice, suppressing Luen Guoqiang's arrogant voice. At the same time, it also attracted everyone's attention. Could it be that this kid was scared silly? You want to take her away, have you asked me? Su Wei walked to Xiao Wei as if no one was around, and hugged her in his arms. He had a good impression of this beautiful CEO and decided to lend a helping hand. Oh my god. Everyone present, including Xiao Wei, was scared silly. Who is this guy? Boy, you're looking for death? After being stunned for more than a minute, Luen Guoqiang said with a grim face. Looking for shit? Do you still need to look? Aren't you the biggest one? Su Wei said with a mocking look. Asshole. Zhang Lang, destroy him for me. Luen Guoqiang was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. Feeling the boundless anger of his master, Zhang Lang rushed up quickly, and his fist as big as a sandbag, like a cannonball, directly hit Su Wei's head. If he was hit, he would become an idiot if he didn't die. Get out. Su Wei directly used a cannon hammer to fight hard. Bang! The two fists collided, and the seemingly strong Zhang Lang was defeated. With a snap, his arm bone broke instantly, and his body hit the landscape stone 4 or 5 meters away and fainted. The air suddenly became quiet. "Come together, kill this kid for me," Luan Guoqiang waved his hand, and several men in black suits behind him immediately rushed out. Baji Zhen. Su Wei did not retreat but advanced. In the face of absolute power, no matter how many people there were, they were no match for him. Before several people could surround him, he was pushed and knocked to the ground by Su Wei. Bang! Su Wei clapped his hands and walked towards Luan Guoqiang. This guy actually wanted to kill him. How could he not vent his anger? "Don't come over here. My Luan family is not something you can contend with." Luan Guoqiang was so scared that he retreated again and again, his face full of fierceness, but anyone could see that he was at the end of his strength. "Show mercy." Xia Wei hurried over and took Su Wei's arm. "Boy, wait for me." Luan Guoqiang left with his people in embarrassment, leaving a vicious look before leaving. "Boss Xia, can we trade now?" As he said that, Su Wei wanted to pull back his arm. After Luan Guoqiang and others left, Xia Wei still held his arm intimately. The fragrance of roses rushed straight into Su Wei's brain, making Su Wei embarrassed. "Haha, you are such an interesting person. You didn't treat yourself as an outsider just now, but now you are shy." Xia Wei smiled playfully and used her hands to hold Su Wei's arms tightly in her arms and rub them. The amazing elasticity made Su Wei's face blush again. "Oh my god, could it be that I met a female during Mango?" "Ahem, President Xia, everyone is watching," Su Wei said awkwardly. "What are you afraid of? Didn't you just declare your sovereignty? I am already yours." Xia Wei actually showed a little girl's attitude, bright and juicy. "Ahem, President Xia, why are you still calling me President Xia? Call me Wire, ahem, how can I be so embarrassed?" "I'd better call you Sister Wei," Su Wei said with a wry smile. He really stuck with it. "Okay. As long as you like it. I can accept a sister-brother relationship." Xia Wei's words were shocking. "Puff, let's go. Sister will take you to transfer the property." Fortunately, when Su Wei was about to be embarrassed, Xia Wei took him to the VIP room. Along the way, she attracted everyone's attention. "Sister Wei, who exactly is Luan Guoqiang?" After entering the VIP room, Su Wei couldn't help asking. Secretary Zhao would naturally handle the transfer of ownership. "Well, it's a long story." Xia Wei poured Su Wei a glass of water and then told his story. It turned out that Xia Wei and Luan Guoqiang were both from Beijing, and they were both children of big families, and they grew up in the same compound. But later, the two families had a conflict of ideas, and the relationship became a little complicated. In the past 2 years, the old man of the Xia family has been in poor health, and the status of the Xia family in Beijing has also declined significantly. The Luan family seemed to have the idea of annexing the Xia family, and began to become arrogant. Luan Guoqiang's pursuit of Xia Wei was even more unscrupulous. But Luan Guoqiang was a complete playboy. How could Xia Wei look down on him? Unable to bear the harassment, Xia Wei ran to the remote city of Huadu and took over the family business Ziwei Group to avoid Luan Guoqiang's harassment. Unexpectedly, Luan Guoqiang caught up with her so quickly. If she hadn't run into Su Wei today, the consequences would have been disastrous, because Luan Guoqiang had knocked out Xia Wei's bodyguards in advance, so even if he took her away by force, no one could stop him. Chapter 12. Sister will be responsible. Xiaohu, keep this. In the VIP room, Xia Wei pushed the contract for the house in front of him. "Oh, Sister Wei, I haven't paid yet," Su Wei said with a surprised look. "You helped me so much, why are you still talking about money?" "Number 1 courtyard is a thank you gift to you," Xia Wei said with gratitude. "How can that be possible? How many tens of millions? Besides, I'm not short of money." Su Wei took out his bank card again. "Not short of money? What do you do?" Xia Wei was curious. "I'm a senior student at Huadu University. But I have a team in finance, and making money is like drinking water." Su Wei started to talk big. "You're still a student?" Xia Wei was stunned when she heard this, and an idea unconsciously came to her mind: old cow eating young grass. "Why not?" Looking at Xia Wei's surprised expression, Su Wei asked casually. Okay. Whatever my brother wants is fine." Xia Wei threw a coquettish eye at Su Wei, obviously thinking too much. Ahem. Su Wei realized that he had spoken carelessly, and quickly drank water to cover up his embarrassment. "Okay, I won't tease you anymore. Just keep the house, forget about the money. Otherwise, how can I feel at ease?" Xia Wei smiled and pushed the bank card back. Okay, then I won't be polite. By the way, Sister Wei, from what Luan Guoqiang said, is your company in trouble? Su Wei didn't pretend to be hypocritical, and asked instead. Alice, in order to facilitate my marriage with Luan Guoqiang, the Luan family has been suppressing the Xia family's business. The Ziwei group I took over is now having some difficulties in capital turnover. But don't worry, I'm already looking for investors, and I think there will be some clues soon. When mentioning this, Xia Wei couldn't help but look worried. Investment? Sister Wei, why don't I invest for you? Su Wei's heart moved. How could a gold digger squander all the money he earned from me stocks by himself? It would be better to invest it and add some capital to himself. You? Xia Wei was stunned. You forgot that I have a financial team, and making money is as easy as drinking water. Su Wei looked smug. Oh, Brother Wei, I appreciate your kindness, but the current situation of the company is quite bad. A small amount of funds will not help at all, but will make you lose all your money. Xia Wei shook her head and refused. Even she, a veteran in the business world for many years, was almost unable to play, let alone a college student who had not yet graduated. Sister Wei, look, we are really not short of money. Su Wei directly used a big move and displayed the account balance. 10 billion. Xia Wei didn't care at first, but after counting the digits, she was so shocked that her cherry mouth opened wide and couldn't close. How is it? Sister Wei, I am qualified to invest in you, right? Su Wei liked to see the surprised expressions of beautiful women. Oh. No, I can't drag you into the vortex of the family. Even if you have enough funds, we don't have much chance of winning under the siege of the Luan family. Xia Wei was surprised at first, but soon became depressed. Do you think Luan Guoqiang will let me go? Fate changed from the moment he came into contact with Xia Wei. Under the circumstances at that time, even if he did not resist, Luan Guoqiang would not let him go, let alone now. Sorry, it's all my fault. Xia Wei heard this, with a face full of apology. She felt like a disaster star, whoever touched her would be unlucky. Sister Wei, you don't have to blame yourself. They are bullying too much? Instead of waiting for them to come prepared, it is better for us to take the initiative to fight back. But Xia Wei was still very worried. How about this, Sister Wei, are you free tonight? Su Wei looked at the time. There were still more than 3 hours before the U.S. stock market opened. Brother you, Xia Wei blushed for no reason. Sister Wei, I want to show you how my team makes money. Su Wei didn't think too much and continued. Oh, okay, Xia Wei was ashamed. Then let's go have a meal first. The fever is from 9:30 p.m. to 4 a.m. the next day. Hey, Sister Wei, do you have a fever? Su Wei suddenly saw Xia Wei's red face. No, then why are you blushing? I feel refreshed. Why is it yellow again? It's the wax I applied to prevent colds. The two went out for a quick meal. After Su Wei drove to the rental house to move some things, he returned to the #1 courtyard in Yunshujian. When the transfer was processed, Xia Wei sent someone to clean up. He went straight to the backyard. The lights in the living room were on, and there was a sound of running water in the kitchen. Sister Wei, what are you doing? Su Wei put down his luggage and went to the kitchen. He saw Xia Wei, who was dressed in a professional suit and wearing an apron, busy in the kitchen. The back figure was full of the taste of a good wife and mother. You're back. I heard you say it would be 4 in the morning, so I asked someone to prepare the ingredients and make a pot of soup as a midnight snack. Xia Wei looked back and smiled, and the surrounding lights suddenly lost their color. Let me help you. Su Wei rolled up his sleeves. No, it's almost done. Go do your thing. Xia Wei hurriedly drove him out. Su Wei had no choice but to go back to the living room to check his phone. Come, eat some fruit first. After a while, Xia Wei came out with a plate of washed fruit and placed it on the coffee table. Well, sit down, Sister Wei. It's about to start. Su Wei turned on the projector in the living room, connected it to the phone, and projected the image of the gold digger on the wall, but it was in browsing mode. You can see the market index and the position status, but you can't see the specific operation process. Okay, Xia Wei kicked off her slippers, curled up her long legs and stockings into the sofa, and lay comfortably to watch, not minding the exquisite curves at a glance. Hey, Sister Wei, do you have an overseas account? Do you want to play a few games? I guarantee you will make money. Yes. But I'm poor. I only have more than 30 million Xia coins. Xia Wei bit a red apple and said jealously. Okay, give me your account. After Suwei got Xiaowei's account, he added it to the gold digger system. After authorization, the gold digger had the authority to control the account. Brother, this 30 million is my old capital, you should be careful, Xiaowei said with a pitiful face. Although she didn't trade stocks, she knew that the stock market was as fierce as a tiger. Many people became rich overnight, but many more went bankrupt in a moment. Don't worry. Look, it started. After Suwei checked, he let the gold digger run automatically, and the time was just right. Xiaowei's attention was immediately attracted to the big screen. Tonight, the gold digger started with crude oil, directly splitting the line and investing in multiple positions, making hundreds of orders in one go, and even Xiaowei's account was split into more than a dozen orders. The gold digger would make an operation every few minutes or half an hour, and each time it could catch the appropriate fluctuations and continuously circle the rice yuan into the account. This operation made Xiaowei stunned. The top teams in the country didn't have such a terrifying operation. In a blink of an eye, it was more than 2 o'clock in the middle of the night. Xiaowei was so excited that she kept shouting. Fortunately, this is a private courtyard, otherwise she would be taken away for disturbing the public. During this period, even the midnight snacks were made by Suwei. In her words, she had to keep an eye on her money. Soon, it was 4 a.m. and the stock market was closed. Suwei's account went from 1 billion yuan to 3.9 billion yuan. Xiaowei's account went from more than 4 million yuan to more than 60 million yuan, which is more than 400 million in Xia currency. It has increased by nearly 10 times. Xiaowei was directly shocked. It couldn't be that fast even if she turned on a money printing machine. Brother, you are so awesome. After a long while, Xiaowei woke up from the shock and rushed over to press the dozing Suwei on the sofa and knocked him against the wall. Cough cough cough, Sister Wei, you? Suwei woke up from his dream, but it was too late. He could only look at Xiaowei with resentment. Hey, naughty brother, don't worry, sister will be responsible for you. Xiaowei had a triumphant expression on her face, and then she ran away. What a sin. The next day, Suwei directly invested 30 billion to buy Ziwei Group. Originally, he just wanted to invest and be a happy major shareholder. As a result, Xiaowei refused to agree and sold the company and herself to Suwei. In her words, in this life, she is his person in life and his ghost in death. Ziwei Group, a well-known large enterprise in Huatou City, changed its owner silently. However, this news was only spread within a limited range. After all, Suwei still wanted to live a free life. In addition to the change of equity, everything else in Ziwei Group remained the same. Xiaowei was still the president of the company. To the outside world, it was as if nothing had happened. Chapter 13 Xia Family's Worries. Suwei stayed up all night, and early in the morning, Xiaowei asked him to sign a bunch of documents. He even had his work lunch at the company. Suwei was busy until the afternoon, and then he was able to go back to Yanshujian to rest. As for Xiaowei, she seemed to be a machine that had been charged, and continued to work. In the evening, Suwei came out of the bedroom and saw Xiaowei coming in from outside. Since staying here that night for stock trading, Xiaowei has directly occupied a bedroom. It is called close protection, but it is unknown whether she is protecting Suwei or wants Suwei to protect her. Are you busy today? Suwei saw the tiredness on Xiaowei's face. Fortunately, the procedures are basically completed, but, Boss Su, do you have any plans for the next development of the company? Xiaowei took off her high heels and rubbed her feet wrapped in stockings. Oh, to be honest, I don't even know what business the company has. Suwei felt ashamed and hurriedly took the slippers to Xiaowei. In addition to real estate, the company also has several sectors such as catering, tourism, property, automobile, and electronics. Currently, only real estate and property are somewhat profitable, while electronics, tourism, and automobile are half dead, and catering is still a bit loss-making. Xiaowei smiled at Suwei, thanked him, and then put on her slippers and walked towards the kitchen. Food is one of her hobbies, and she cooks by herself when she has time. So she has always been upset about the catering company's losses. What's the name of the catering company? Suwei followed into the kitchen and helped. Gui Shijuan, the second best restaurant in Huatou City. Apart from Huaga Dynasty, it must be Gui Shijuan, Suwei said in surprise. Well, but Huaga Dynasty is the property of the Luan family. Xiaowei paused. Oh my. I accidentally helped the enemy, Su Wei couldn't help but complain in his heart. Can you poach people from Huaga dynasty? Su Wei asked. It might have worked before. But now, since my grandfather fell into coma, the relationship of the Xia family has been declining day by day. The Luan family is deliberately making things difficult. It's good that no one is taking advantage of the situation. Who would offend the Luan family for money? Xia Wei said with a dejected face. Problems that can be solved with money are not problems, but some problems are not about money. What's your grandfather's disease? Su Wei heard it. The key point is still the old man of the Xia family. Grandpa has been a soldier all his life. He suffered too many injuries when he was young. Now he's old and has multiple complications. The doctor estimates that he will not survive this year. Xia Wei's tone was full of sadness. Grandpa is not only the pillar of the Xia family, but also the elder who loves her the most. If your grandfather could have been given another year or two, the Xia family would not have ended up like this. This is the truth that when people leave, the tea gets cold, and when the wall falls, everyone pushes it. Aging? Su Wei muttered. This is indeed a problem that modern medicine cannot solve. But Su Wei thought of someone, Mr. Qin from the pharmacy in the wasteland world. Su Wei asked for more detailed information about Xia Wei's grandfather. He would go to Qin Lao if he had a chance to see if he could extend his life. 3 dishes and 1 soup were prepared while the two chatted. Xia Wei's cooking skills were really good, with good color, aroma and taste, comparable to a hotel chef. After eating, they put the dishes into the dishwasher. The two sat by the swimming pool, slowly sipping red wine and chatting, enjoying a moment of peace. Xiao Wei, when is your birthday? Xia Wei's fair face was covered with 2 blushes, which looked particularly attractive in the night. May 9th, what's wrong? Yeah, it's only a few days away. But it's not too late, I want to prepare a big gift for you, don't bother, Su Wei said casually. I promise you will like it. Xia Wei took a sip of red wine and looked at Su Wei with blurred eyes. Just as the two gradually approached, a phone ring extinguished all the sparks. Hello, Su Wei, come to the Golden Goblet Bar. Zhang Su was beaten. As soon as the phone was connected, Zhang Dao's anxious voice came out. Okay, I'll be there right away. Su Wei jumped up and ran towards the lobby. Xiao Wei, what happened? Xia Wei chased him out barefoot. My friend was beaten up. I have to go over and take a look. I'll go with you. Wait, I'll ask the driver to drive over. Xia Wei quickly stretched out her foot to hook a pair of shoes and chased Su Wei out the door. On the 2nd floor of the Golden Goblet Bar, outside a private room, 7 or 8 boys blocked the door, and screams came from inside. A young man in a pink suit threw a beer bottle in his hand. Zhang Su on the opposite side dodged in time and was not knocked down, but the flying glass shards scared Hu Xiaoxin, who was curled up in the corner, and screamed. Zhang Su, for the sake of our alumni, as long as you admit your mistake today, I will spare you. How about it? In the crowd, Guo Minglian said with a playful look on his face. Tui Guo Minglian, go and dream your spring and autumn dreams. Although Zhang Su was beaten black and blue, he was still tough. Good. I hope you can still be so tough later. Guo Minglian turned his head to look at Zhang Dui, who was also swollen like a pig's head. Rubbish, Zhang Dui said with disdain. Good. Very good. I like people who talk tough the most. Beat them up again. Guo Minglian gave an order, and the group of boys around him immediately rushed up. Although Zhang Su and Zhang Dui were not weak in physique, they were quickly defeated under the siege of the crowd and were pressed firmly on the coffee table. Papa. You talk tough, right? Guo Minglian went up and slapped the 2 of them. Bah, you dog who relies on others for power, if you have the guts, come and fight me one-on-one. I guarantee that I will beat you so hard that your mother won't recognize you. Zhang Su's mouth was bloody, but he was still cursing. Zhang Dui had just been hit a few more times and was a little breathless in pain. Still talking tough, come on, dog. The harder Guo Minglian hit, the more fiercely Zhang Su cursed. Stop, stop, Hu Xiaoxin ran over crying. Ah, but before she could get close to Zhang Su, the man in the pink suit grabbed her long hair. Hey, this girl is pretty good. The man in the pink suit had a disgusting smile on his face and reached out to touch Hu Xiaoxin's face. You bastard! Zhang Dui and Zhang Su were so angry that their eyes were about to burst. Chapter 14, One Punch, One Kid. Stop! At the critical moment, a loud shout came. Everyone turned around and saw a lonely figure standing in the corridor, looking at everything happening in the private room with an angry face. Behind him were two bar security guards in black suits. Su Wei? Hey, you're just in time. Guo Minglian's eyes lit up. Guo Minglian, if you have any problems, come to me and let them go, Su Wei said with a cold face. You let them go, I don't want face. Guo Minglian was not happy. Su Wei, apologize to Minglian quickly, otherwise you will be in trouble. Liu Tingting, who was standing aside, saw Guo Minglian's unhappy face, and immediately got angry at Su Wei. What did I do? I want to apologize, Su Wei frowned. This Liu Tingting was still as strong as ever to him. Humph, anyway, it's all because of you. Liu Tingting had a disgusted expression on her face, feeling that it was a shame to have anything to do with Su Wei. That's right, Su Wei, admit your mistake. You offended Master Guo, and you still want to stay in Huida? Don't blame me for not telling you. This boy's brother is the best general under Master Guo, a real master. A boy jumped out to lick Guo Minglian, and also flattered the man in the pink suit. Bah! Rao Heichuan, you are so disgusting. You still live in the same dormitory with us, I am ashamed of you. Zhang Su started to curse again. The boy who jumped out was not only a classmate of Su Wei and others, but also lived in the same dormitory, but in order to please the rich second-generation Guo Minglian, he directly betrayed the friendship. Speaking of which, it was Rao Heichuan's girlfriend who brought Liu Tingting and Guo Minglian together. She was in the same class as Guo Minglian. By chance, Guo Minglian saw the photos of her and Su Wei's dormitory party on her mobile phone, and then he had ideas about Lin Tingting. Looking at Rao Heichuan's ugly face, Su Wei's emotions did not fluctuate at all. He used to hate him, but now there is no need, because he is just an ant-like existence. Get out of here, Su Wei strode forward. His fearless momentum frightened Rao Heichuan so much that he took several steps back. Come on together, Guo Minglian shouted with an unhappy face. Rao Heichuan, who was humiliated and angry, rushed up with the remaining boys. Crackling. Su Wei knocked several people to the ground with almost no effort. Although he restrained most of his strength, the boys were ordinary people after all, and they still felt like dying. Such a result surprised everyone. Liu Tingting knew that Su Wei knew boxing and had demonstrated it in his spare time, but she thought it was all fancy, similar to the health-preserving boxing that old men and women in the park practiced. Unexpectedly, it was a real trick. Wow! He's a martial artist. Bose had a surprised expression on his face, let go of Hu Xiaoxin, and rushed up. Although Guo Minglian was surprised, he was not worried at all. He knew Bose's strength very well, and the 72-weight 10-leg was not a boast. Bose was very fast, and his two long legs kicked towards Su Wei's chest with great force. Su Wei did not give in, and his iron fist hit the soles of Bose's feet with the power of a cannonball. Bang, bang, bang. Bose kicked a few times, and Su Wei threw a few punches, hitting Bose's legs. Cannon hammer. Finally, Bose was punched away by Su Wei, and hit the wall, which cracked, and Bose instantly spurted out a mouthful of blood. What are you going to do? Without protection, Guo Minglian saw Su Wei walking towards him, and was immediately scared pale. Fuck you, Su Wei slapped Guo Minglian twice. The latter's face swelled up instantly, and the corners of his mouth were cracked and bleeding. He looked extremely miserable. Su Wei, you dare to hit me? I swear to kill you. Guo Minglian, who had been spoiled since childhood, had never suffered such an injustice, and was so angry that his lungs were about to explode, but after meeting Su Wei's cold eyes, he shouted suddenly. What the hell are you yelling for? Are you going to yell for Su Wei to come over and beat him up? Su Wei. Don't mess around. The Guo family is a famous wealthy family in Huidu City. They won't let you go. Liu Tingting looked at Su Wei at this time and stepped back in fear. However, Su Wei didn't even look at her and went straight to the coffee table. The boys who were holding Zhang Dui and Zhang Su were so scared that they stepped back. Two of them tripped over the sofa and fell to the ground. Are you alright? Su Wei helped Zhang Dui and the other two up. It's okay. Zhang Dui and Zhang Su looked at each other as if they were monsters. They had lived together for more than 3 years, but they didn't know that this guy's fighting power was off the charts. It's good that you're okay. Su Wei turned around and prepared to leave with the three of them. At this moment, a group of security guards in black suits rushed in, instantly making the spacious private room seem a little narrow. Who is causing trouble in my territory? Are you here to mess things up? The bodyguards separated and a short, fat, bald man walked in. He looked so ferocious that he could probably scare a child to tears. Brother Dabao, you came at the right time. We were playing here and this guy rushed in and beat people up. Seeing the bald man, Guo Minglian, with a swollen face, immediately rushed over, as if he had seen his real father. Oh my god. Who are you? Brother Dabao was startled and almost kicked him with his big feet. I am Guo Minglian, and Guo Ju is my father. Guo Minglian's mouth was swollen. Oh, it turns out to be the second young master Guo. I'm so sorry. Brother Dabao smiled when he heard it. The Guo family is a wealthy family in Huadu, and it's not easy to curry favor with them on weekdays. What's more, if someone gets into trouble in his place, it will be difficult for him to explain it to the authorities. No problem, Brother Dabao, it was that kid who beat people up. Guo Minglian pointed at Su Wei and said. Liu Tingting, Rao Heichuan and others came over in a hurry, gathered behind Guo Minglian, and drew a clear line between themselves and Su Wei and the others. Kid, where are you? Dabao looked at Su Wei, who was leading the group. This kid even dared to hit the young master of the Guo family. I don't know where he came from. No, I'm a student of Huadu University. Su Wei looked indifferent. Student, Dabao was stunned and turned to Guo Minglian and the others to confirm. That's right, he's just a poor loser from the countryside, Liu Tingting added a sentence. After seeing that everyone nodded, Dabao immediately felt that this was a chance for God to give him a chance to get into a wealthy family. Humph, a fart student dares to attack young Master Guo, come on, destroy his claws. Dabao gave orders with a fierce look on his face. Xiao Wei. At this moment, a crisp and beautiful voice came. Xiao Wei walked in a professional suit, revealing a pair of plump long white legs. There were 5 or 6 men in black suits leading the way, exuding an iron-blooded aura. Xiao Wei and Su Wei originally came in the same car, but Su Wei was worried about the safety of Zhang Dui and the others, so he rushed in alone as soon as the car stopped. With his enhanced physique, his speed was simply inhuman. Xiao Wei and the driver waited for the other bodyguards to arrive before rushing in together. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Guo or Kingzi. Hey! President Xia, Brother Dabao was shocked and rushed forward. But Xiao Wei didn't even look at him, and rushed directly to Su Wei. Are you okay? How could I be okay? Wei smiled confidently. I'm glad you're okay. Is this your friend? Xiao Wei's eyes were cast on Zhang Dui and others behind Su Wei. Yes, they're all my classmates. Roommates Zhang Dui, Zhang Su, and Zhang Su's girlfriend who's Iaxin. Hello, I'm Su Wei's sister Xiao Wei. The few people introduced each other without anyone else, which made Brother Dabao very embarrassed. Although the Guo family is a wealthy family in Huadu, Xiao Wei is a big boss in Beijing, and he dared not offend her even if he had the courage. Brother Dabao, get him for me. What are you hesitating about? When Guo Minglian saw Xiao Wei, his saliva was about to flow out, but this beauty who was no less beautiful than he Xiao actually ran to Su Wei to show concern for him, which immediately made him feel that Liu Tingting beside him was not attractive anymore. Mr. Guo, Dabao's face was dark, you're a fool. Huh? Who are you? Are you in the same group with him? Xiao Wei turned around and immediately restored the temperament of the ICCEO, looking at Dabao and questioning. No. President Xia, I am the manager of the Golden Goblet Bar, I just came to take a look. Yes, just a look. Dabao was scared and sweated coldly. None of these Beijing nobles were simple, and it would only take a few minutes to kill him. Do you see it clearly now? Xiao Wei asked seriously. Dabao was confused and didn't know what Xiao Wei meant. My friend was beaten like this here, what do you say? Xiao Wei asked loudly. The momentum was like thousands of troops, and Dabao was scared to sweat coldly. Oh, President Xia, calm down, we are fully responsible for all the losses of your friend, and in addition, each person will pay 100,000 yuan in mental damages. What do you think? Dabao immediately became scared. No matter who he confronted, he didn't dare to confront Xiao Wei. Xiaohu, what do you think? Xiao Wei did not answer directly, but turned to look at Su Wei. Her temperament instantly became infinitely gentle. Oh my god. Brother Dabao was almost scared to death, he just wanted to cripple someone's hands. If Xiao Wei was at night, he would not know how he died. At this moment, Brother Dabao hated Guo Minglian to the extreme. Su Wei glanced at Brother Dabao and nodded. Thank you, thank you. Brother Dabao suddenly seemed to be in another world, nodding and bowing and smiling. Thank Su Wei for letting him go like a fart. What about you? Seeing Su Wei nod, Xia Wei cast her eyes on Guo Minglian and others. Except for Guo Minglian and Bose, everyone else was still a student. How could they withstand the gaze of the ICCEO? They were so scared that their faces turned pale and trembled. Liu Dabao, are you fucking stupid? Give them compensation? My face is swollen, why don't you kill them for me? By the way, leave this woman here, I want to interrogate her. Dare to offend our Guo family, are you tired of living? Bose was knocked out by Su Wei with a punch, and now only Guo Minglian can still jump. Damn. Master Guo, you are so stubborn, don't drag me into this. Brother Dabao's face was livid, and he wanted to kick Guo Minglian to death. Guo family? Who is Guo Ju to you? Xia Wei was slightly stunned. Haha, you are scared, right? Guo Ju is my dad. Come over and pour wine to apologize, otherwise, Guo Minglian thought Xia Wei was shocked by the reputation of the Guo family. Sister Wei, don't waste your time talking to him, take my friend to the hospital first, and I will settle the rest with him slowly. Su Wei was worried about the injuries of the two, so he interrupted. Okay, I won't say any more nonsense. Go back and tell Guo Juke to come and apologize, Xia Wei said and followed Su Wei outside. Guo Minglian wanted to say something, but was stopped by Liu Dabao and his men. Xia Wei, the great god, was finally leaving, and he didn't want to cause any more trouble. Fuck, Liu Dabao, you fucking stop me, believe it or not, I will smash your shabby bar today. Watching Su Wei and the others leave, Guo Minglian was furious. Master Guo, do you know where that woman came from? Liu Dabao looked at him with contempt. What's her background? The Xia family in Beijing. Fuck, Guo Minglian sobered up instantly. Beijing is the power center of Xia state. Those who can call themselves families, they're all big bosses. In comparison, the Guo family is just a local rich man in a remote mountain village. There is no comparison. Master Guo, you should go home and tell President Guo about this first, otherwise if the Xia family comes, the nature of the matter will be different, Liu Dabao reminded him kindly. Humph, although Guo Minglian was unwilling, he also knew that the families in Beijing were not easy to mess with. Liu Tingting, who was standing by, showed an expression of I see, that's why Su Wei was able to recover so quickly and drive a Bugatti Veyron worth tens of millions. It turned out that he was a gigolo for President Xia. Why didn't I realize that this guy had this potential before? Humph, shameless. After meeting Su Wei last time, Liu Tingting had always had a thorn in her heart. Now that the thorn is gone, she despises Su Wei even more in her heart. In the end, Guo Minglian could only leave with his men in disgrace. When Su Wei and others came out of Hudu City First Hospital, it was already past 1 a.m. Xia Wei accompanied them throughout the whole process and asked the hospital to directly summon experts who had already gone off work for consultation. As a result, both of them only had skin injuries. They took some anti-inflammatory drugs and rested for 2 days and they would be fine. When the three learned that Xia Wei was the president of Ziwei Group, they were immediately shocked. Although they didn't know how she became Su Wei's sister, anyone with a discerning eye could see that the relationship between the two was extraordinary. They were definitely not biological sisters, but more like sisters in love. Zhang Dai and Zhuang Su looked at Su Wei with a little more strangeness in their eyes. Get lost, you two old perverts. Tell me, what's going on? How did someone block us in the private room? Su Wei asked with a smile and scolding. Xia Oxen and I went to karaoke and met Liu Tingting. That woman looked pretentious and deliberately bumped into Xia Oxen. I said a few words to her, and she asked Guo Minglian to bring people to block us. Xia Oxen called Dai. Dai called you again. This is what happened, and this is the situation. Zhang Su briefly explained what happened. Su Wei, let's give you half of this money each. Otherwise it feels weird. Zhang Dai was talking about the spiritual compensation given by Brother Dabao. Okay. You can just keep this money yourself. I don't need this little bit, Su Wei refused directly. Oh, okay. So when did you and CEO Xia meet? Zhang Su asked with a gossipy look on his face. Zhang Dai also looked at Su Wei with curiosity. Not long ago, just a few days ago, Su Wei told the truth. You must be kidding me, Zhang Su and Da Zhangwei looked unconvinced. If you don't believe me, ask Sister Wei. Su Wei felt a little disappointed. Why didn't anyone believe him when he told the truth? Ask me what? Xia Wei, who came over, said in surprise. The two girls just went to the bathroom. We just want to ask CEO Xia if we can go to Ziwei Group for internship, Zhang Su asked with a charming smile. Of course you can. Xia Wei wanted to ask Su Wei because he was the boss of Ziwei, but Su Wei gave her a look, obviously not wanting to reveal his identity, so she agreed. However, this was seen by Zhang Su and others, which made them more certain of their love. They were flirting with each other, couldn't they see it? CEO Xia, I'm studying singing, can I also go to Ziwei Group? Hu Xiaoxin, who was standing by, couldn't help asking. After all, her family has no capital and no connections, and her dream of entering the music industry has long been extinguished. Of course, some positions in the company also require special skills. If you want to develop in the entertainment industry, I can also introduce people to you, Xia Wei agreed. Although the influence of the Xia family is not as great as before, a lean camel is bigger than a horse, and ordinary forces still have to give the Xia family a face. Great, Hu Xiaoxin jumped up with joy, but forgot that she was still holding the injured Zhang Su in her hand, and she cried out a ghost. It was too late, and there were two more injured people, so Su Wei took them back to the Yun Shujian Sahayan. Fuck, Zhang Dai and Zhang Su could only say fuck the world. This is a mansion worth tens of millions, a goal that can never be achieved in a lifetime, but Su Wei has already moved in. Come and sit down, have some fruit, drinks or red wine. As soon as she entered the house, Xia Wei entertained everyone like a hostess. There were too many surprises, but she lost her sleepiness. Old Su, does Sister Wei live here too? Zhang Dai couldn't help but ask Su Wei quietly. Yet, Su Wei nodded. Fuck, 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 the three of them felt as if thousands of alpacas were galloping through their hearts. Did they just know each other for a few days? They're already living together. Su Wei was speechless as he looked at the three of them. This was like yellow mud falling into the crotch of pants. It was shit if not shit. Chapter 16 Human Nature. There was no conversation that night. Xia Wei went to work in the company early in the morning. Zhang Su and Zhang Dai asked for leave from school because they were injured. Then they stayed in Yun Shujian shamelessly, and even called it sharing the blessing. Hu Xiaoxin also stayed to take care of them. So, Zhang Su and Hu Xiaoxin, two karaoke maniacs, had a blast in the home theater. Zhang Dai stayed in the private internet cafe. Unable to bear the harassment, Su Wei had to escape to the rental house. It seems that the decision to rent it was a very correct one. As the saying goes, a cunning rabbit has 3 burrows, let alone a man with secrets like Su Wei. Maybe you can consider buying this house, and then add a parking space, it will be perfect. Thinking of this, Su Wei teleported to the wasteland world. Fuck, when Su Wei opened his eyes, he saw the mess on the ground. Was it robbed? The security of this Shimu camp is worrying. Fortunately, Su Wei didn't put anything valuable here. All that was turned over were the junk of the original owner, otherwise the loss would be huge. Wait, Su Wei was startled and rushed out of the hut and rushed to the next door. As expected, the door of the hut where Yuna lived was wide open, and the floor was also in a mess. Damn it, Su Wei turned and rushed out of the hut, but soon stopped again. There were no police in the wasteland world. Where could he go to seek justice? Hey, Boss Su, you finally showed up. At this moment, a big bald man came with his men. Su Wei recognized him. He was the law enforcement captain who wanted to drive Yuna away last time. Who are you? Su Wei's face tightened. He originally wanted to find the manager, but he didn't expect the other party to come first, and he came with bad intentions. Boss Su is really a forgetful person. Didn't we just meet a few days ago? By the way, I forgot to introduce myself then. Now let's meet formally. Wei Dahei, the captain of the law enforcement brigade of Shimu Camp, the bald man said politely, but he was so polite that he felt it was an insult to be polite. What do you want to see me for? Su Wei asked coldly. Our leader has admired Boss Su for a long time, but he has been unable to meet him after several attempts, so he invited Miss Yuna to be his guest. Now that Boss Su is here, please go over and have a seat, Wei Dahei said politely, but there was no politeness in his words. Lead the way. At this point, Su Wei had no choice. At worst, it would be a fight to the death. Anyway, he had a teleportation ring. If he couldn't win, He could just run away and come back to attack when he had time. Sure, please. As he said that, Wei Dahe led Su Wei to the largest house in the center of the camp. That was the residence of the management of Shimu camp. In the wasteland world, some powerful beings were born among humans, collectively known as new humans, namely awakeners with awakened talents, evolvers with evolved abilities, enhancers enhanced by drugs. The ranking is in order: awakeners are the strongest, evolvers are second, and enhancers are the last. Strength division: awakeners are 1 to 9 levels, evolvers are 1 to 9 stars, enhancers are 1 to 9 levels. The Shimu camp is controlled by an armed organization that calls itself Zhanhu. The leader, Zhang Jun, is a 2-star evolver with very strong strength. There are also 4 great kings under his command, all of whom are level 6 enhancers. They are top-notch in the vicinity. Leader, Boss Su is here. When he arrived at the door of the hall, Wei Dahe shouted inside. "Come in," a hoarse voice sounded. Wei Dahe pushed open the door and walked in with Su Wei. As soon as he entered the door, Su Wei was frowned by the filthy air in the hall. In addition to the sour sweat and foot odor, there was also a strong smell of hormones, which mixed together and made people sick. There were 5 men sitting in the hall of about 100 square meters. One of them was as tall as an iron tower, sitting in the main seat. I think he was the so-called leader Zhang Jun. The other 4 muscular men sat in 2 rows on the left and right. There were several scantily clad women serving each of them, and there were as many as 10 in front of the leader Zhang Jun. "Are you Su Wei?" the superior Zhang Jun asked Su Wei in a hoarse voice, but his eyes were full of contempt. The other 4 kings also looked down on him. The hierarchy made them see at a glance that Su Wei was just a level 3 enhancer. "Where is Yuna?" Su Wei asked instead of answering. He had no good feelings for these people who did not treat their kind as human beings. "Don't worry, we are not interested in her at all." Zhang Jun looked at Su Wei curiously without thinking, and then raised his hand and waved. Wei Dahe immediately trotted to a corner and pulled Yuna out. Yes, she was. Because at this time, Yuna was tied with an iron chain around her neck and dragged like a dog. "Boss Su, you can do this. My admiration for you is like a torrent of water," Wei Dahe said as he dragged her, causing Zhang Jun and others to laugh. Woo! At this time, Yuna saw Su Wei, and her big, watery eyes were filled with fear and shame. In the past few days, Zhang Jun and other beasts had tortured her. If it weren't for her disfigurement, the consequences would be unimaginable. "Brother Su, go away quickly, don't worry about me," Yuna shouted. After all, Su Wei was the one who helped her when she was in the most difficult time. "Shut up," Wei Dahe kicked Yuna in the face, and a stream of blood immediately flowed down the corner of her mouth. "Stop," Su Wei snorted with a livid face. He found that he had seriously underestimated the degree of moral degradation in the wasteland world. Zhang Ling, Qin Lao and others who had just come to the institute all showed a certain bottom line, which gave him a certain illusion. All this is the true portrayal of the wasteland, the law of the jungle where the strong prey on the weak and there is no humanity. "Boss Su, don't be angry. I'm looking for you to do a big deal. As long as it's done, it's no big deal for you to have as many women as you want." Zhang Jun found it difficult to understand Su Wei's anger, but it didn't matter. A level 3 enhancer had no room for refusal in front of him. "Trade? What deal?" Su Wei was stunned when he heard it. "Boss Su, don't pretend to be confused when you know the truth. Where do you get those high-quality foods? As long as you share the information with us, the position of the second in command of the camp will be yours." Zhang Jun directly threw out an olive branch. Su Wei made several moves, especially the high-quality rice that paid the food tax for Yuna, which attracted the attention of the camp's top management. In the wasteland world, the only place where such high-quality food can be obtained is the National Reserve before the disaster. And this reserve indicates a huge amount of food. There was once a small camp that became the top force in the wasteland world because it discovered a national reserve, which shows how huge its reserves are. So Zhang Jun immediately sent someone to look for Su Wei. As Su Wei did not show up for several days, he ordered Yuna to be captured, waiting for Su Wei to fall into his trap. Unexpectedly, Su Wei really came. As for the position of the second in command, haha, as long as Su Wei came up and gave him an empty title, it would not matter. At that time, he would have the final say in everything in the camp. Chapter 17, The Natural Awakener. Food. Su Wei realized what was wrong. People are greedy and never give up. That's right, What if I say no? Boss Su is a wise man. Food is good, but life is only one. If you lose your life, what's the use of having more food? Humph, your behavior makes me very unhappy, so don't even think about getting a grain of food from me. The worst case scenario is that both sides will be broken. Old third, catch him. Zhang Jun's face turned cold and he waved at a big man under his command. As long as Su Wei is caught, are you afraid that you can't get any information from him? Just watch, big brother. The third brother rushed over excitedly and blocked in front of Su Wei. A palm as big as a palm fan grabbed Su Wei's chest. In his opinion, a small level 3 enhancer can't make any waves at all. Get out, Su Wei hiccuped angrily, and his fist blasted out like a cannonball. Bang! The third brother, who looked determined, changed his face drastically. He covered his painful wrist and stepped back several steps, but Su Wei was nailed in place and didn't move at all. The whole audience was shocked. A level 3 enhancer actually defeated a level 6 enhancer. Although the third brother was a little arrogant, the result was really unexpected. Haha, third brother, have you been lying on women's stomachs for too long? You have become a soft crab. After a brief surprise, the other big kings laughed at the third brother. Bullshit. Boy, I will break your hands and feet. The third brother was angry and rushed towards Su Wei with red eyes. Brother Su, Yuna's heart tightened again. Come on, Iron Mountain. Su Wei did not retreat but rushed forward, and crashed into the third brother's arms before he could punch. Bang! The third brother came quickly and left quickly. His huge body was like a basketball thrown out. Duin knocked over several tables in a row, and finally stopped when he hit the wall, and spit out a mouthful of blood with a sweet throat. Hiss. This time, the whole audience was shocked. Just now, it could be said that the third brother was too arrogant, but now he was actually attacked with anger, but was killed by Su Wei. This directly overturned everyone's cognition. However, Su Wei, who succeeded in one move, was not happy. He had used all his strength, but only caused a little injury to the opponent. It must be said that the physique of the enhancer is too strong, so what about the evolver? Fourth brother, go help the third brother. Make sure he survives. Seeing his men injured, Zhang Jun was not surprised but happy. He had never seen the moves used by Su Wei, but he felt that there was a strong power in it. This might be the reason why he could challenge the opponent above his level. If he mastered this skill, Zhang Jun felt that he could take off directly. Get out of the way, I must destroy this kid. The third brother rudely shook off the fourth brother's hand to help him and walked towards Su Wei. The fourth brother didn't mind, and followed with a sinister smile on his face, faintly creating a situation of encirclement for Su Wei. Come on, let me see how capable you are. Although Su Wei was at a disadvantage, he was full of fighting spirit. So, the three of them fought together, and it was hard to tell who would win. Against one, Su Wei still had the strength to fight, but against two, it was a bit difficult. However, it would take the third and fourth brothers a long time to defeat Su Wei. Bajiquin was extremely powerful, and the two of them might capsize if they were not careful. Come on together. After watching for a while, Zhang Jun showed impatience on his face, and waved his hand, asking his four Vajras to fight together. Those women were so scared that they huddled in the corner, fearing that they would be implicated. The addition of the other two Vajras made Su Wei's pressure increase sharply, and he was in danger. He thought to himself that he would withdraw first and come back to take revenge later. But he was a little unwilling, because if he left, Yuna would definitely die. At this moment, a ball of fire suddenly broke out from Yuna's body. The temperature was so high that it melted the iron chain in an instant. Even Wei Dahei, who was standing next to him, didn't understand what was going on. The arm holding the iron chain turned into slag. If he hadn't dodged quickly, the whole person would be gone. Damn! What's going on? Spontaneous human combustion? Yuna's painful howl did not stop, and the flames expanded further, approaching the battle group. The old five who attacked Su Wei was the first to be hit, and was instantly engulfed by the flames. The body of the enhancer could not resist and was burned to charcoal. No. Natural awakening? It's the awakener, Zhang Jun, who was sitting in his seat, could not sit still and rushed to Yuna without hesitation. The awakener's talent is higher than that of the evolver. If she successfully breaks out of the cocoon, the consequences will be disastrous. Yuna's figure was completely covered by flames, and the stones on the ground were burned into a molten state, as if falling into lava hell. Break! Zhang Jun's right fist hit the air, and the air was immediately pushed as if it was pushed, and it hit Yuna like a cannonball. This is the superpower that Zhang Jun evolved, the explosive fist. Under the flow of air, the flames were blown red, and gradually revealed the vague figure of Yuna. Bang! The explosive fist sank into the vague figure, and the flames stopped, as if the pause button was pressed. Just when Zhang Jun thought he had it all done, Yuna's roar rang out again, and a figure made entirely of flames rushed over. Looking for death, Zhang Jun punched again, making a sound of breaking through the air. The fist penetrated the flame figure without any obstruction, but it did not cause any substantial killing. This is the body of an element. How is it possible? Zhang Jun was engulfed by the flames before he could retreat, and turned into charcoal. The remaining 3 Vajras were so scared that they left Su Wei and fled. Even the evolver Zhang Jun was killed instantly. What else could they, the enhancers, do? Cold. Unfortunately, the flames did not intend to let them go, and rushed over with a roar. Su Wei was surrounded by the flames before he could even teleport. But strangely, he only felt warm and comfortable, while the 3 Vajras wailed all over the field, rolled a few times in the flames and turned into charcoal. After everything calmed down, the flames shrank and disappeared. If it weren't for the residual warmth floating in the air, one would even suspect that everything just now was an illusion. Yuna, feeling a touch of warmth on his back, Su Wei woke up from his shock and hurriedly asked, "Brother Su." Sure enough, Yuna's voice came from behind. Su Wei turned around quickly, but was startled by the whiteness in front of him. He quickly took off his shirt and put it on Yuna, thus avoiding the embarrassment of the two. Yuna, are you alright?" When he looked at Yuna's face again, Su Wei was even more shocked. Yuna, who was originally severely burned, was like a phoenix, and was beautiful like a white porcelain doll. Is that so?" Yuna heard Su Wei say this, and hurriedly reached out to touch her face. Sure enough, it was no longer as rough as tree bark, but instead was smooth and soft. It's alright, I'm really alright." Yuna was so happy that she cried and laughed, like a child. "Brother Su, thank you." Yuna threw herself into Su Wei's arms and burst into tears. Silly girl, you have earned all these through your own efforts. What does it have to do with me?" Su Wei was stunned for a moment, then a relieved smile appeared on his face. He stroked Yuna's fiery red hair, which was so soft and warm. "If it weren't for Brother Su, I would have died outside the camp long ago, and I wouldn't have survived until now. I have to thank you, and thank you forever." Yuna fluttered in Su Wei's arms excitedly. Okay, thank me, and thank my 8 generations of ancestors, okay?" Su Wei hurriedly picked up Yuna. If he continued like this, he would accidentally fire his gun. Chapter 18, Taking Control of the Camp. "Brother Su, what should we do with these people?" Yuna, who was comforted by Su Wei, looked at the remaining members in the hall with a murderous look. "Forget it, they are all a group of miserable people." Su Wei looked at the group of women who were in awe and shook his head. "In the wasteland world, weakness is the original sin." "Then what about him?" Yuna cast her eyes on Wei Dahei, who only had one arm left. "Spare my life." Wei Dahei was so scared that he didn't care about the pain of the wound and begged for mercy again and again. Su Wei narrowed his eyes. Looking at his previous appearance, he knew that he had done a lot of things to take advantage of others. Such a person would be a rat shit if he stayed. Wait a minute, when Su Wei was thinking about how to deal with Wei Dahei, the most outstanding woman in the group stood up. "What do you have to do?" Su Wei asked curiously. "My lord, if you want to control the Shimu camp, it's better not to kill him for the time being." The woman looked terrified and tried to make her voice sound less trembling. Control the camp? Su Wei was stunned for a moment. Yes. With Yuna's current strength, plus his food, she can completely control the Shimu camp. With this identity, it will be much easier to do things in the future. "What's your name, sir?" "My name is Song Dan. I used to be Zhang Jun's assistant, helping to manage the logistics of the camp," the woman replied hurriedly. Yes, sir, I am willing to follow you and die for you." Wei Dahei smelled a glimmer of hope and begged for mercy even harder. "Brother Su, I support you." Yuna grabbed Su Wei's arm and expressed her position. "Okay." Su Wei did not refuse and nodded in agreement. Those who achieve great things do not care about trivial matters. After the death of the top leaders, with Song Dan and Wei Dahei as examples, and Yuna showing a little bit of the strength of a level 2 awakener, the matter of taking over the camp went very smoothly. Yes, Yuna was at level 2 when she awakened, which can be said to be gifted. Everyone quickly accepted Su Wei as the new owner and renamed the Shimu camp to the Phaeton base, implying that under the leadership of Su Wei, it will soar. In fact, the survivors didn't really care who would lead the base, as long as they could continue to provide protection. Of course, after taking over the camp, it couldn't remain unchanged. Su Wei made drastic reforms. First, the following departments were established: Logistics Department, responsible for managing base supplies, survivors and other matters; Armed Forces Department, responsible for managing base combatants; Medical Department, responsible for all medical needs in the base; Science and Technology Department, a department for conducting some scientific and technological revival research. Among them, the Science and Technology Department was strongly requested by Su Wei. In his words, he hoped to build a true paradise for mankind on the wasteland, and then he would need the technology of revival. He was preparing for a rainy day, thinking of danger in times of peace, and being prepared for any eventuality. Atui. In fact, he just wanted to find some high tech to go to the modern world and show off. The Logistics Department was headed by Su Wei, and Song Dan continued to be his assistant. The Armed Forces Department was handed over to Yuna to be in charge, using her powerful force to suppress those armed personnel. And Wei Dao was her assistant. As for the Medical Department and the Science and Technology Department, Su Wei also had candidates in mind, that is, Qin Hong, Qin Lao and Ji Tongguang. After arranging Song Dan's work, Su Wei went directly to the pharmacy. Mr. Qin, it's you. Qin Hong was stunned when he saw Su Wei. They had only met twice in total, and the second time he became the leader of the base. It can be said that things are unpredictable. But this is how the world is. It's still uncertain whether you can live tomorrow. Mr. Qin, the base has established a medical department. I would like to invite you to serve as the director, Su Wei invited sincerely. Medical department? Can you provide me with non-mutated medicinal materials for experiments? Mr. Qin did not refuse directly, but made a request. What is non-mutated medicinal material? Su Wei was stunned when he heard it, and it felt a bit like Shakespeare. Non-mutated medicinal materials are the kind of medicinal materials that have not mutated before the catastrophe. After the catastrophe, the whole world was contaminated by viruses and radiation. It is like looking for a needle in a haystack to find non-mutated medicinal materials. Qin Hong couldn't help but despise Su Wei. My God, it's terrible to be uneducated. Non-mutated medicinal materials? Maybe I can get them. After figuring out what non-mutated medicinal materials are, Su Wei smiled mysteriously. Isn't this like a sleepyhead hitting a pillow? In the modern world, ordinary medicinal materials are available in large quantities, but it is difficult for him to get mutant medicinal materials. Okay, as long as you can get non-mutated medicinal materials, I will sell my life to you. Qin Hong was not attracted by Su Wei's words and continued the experiment in his hand. After all, everyone can talk big. By the way, Qin Lao, if an aging person wants to extend his life, can he use strengthening potions? Su Wei asked casually before leaving. Do you want to murder? Strengthening potions are potions that optimize gene chains. Weak bodies will collapse because they cannot withstand the energy impact, Qin Lao answered while experimenting. What potion can do it? Life potion. It can cure 99.9% of human diseases, including cancer. This is a technology that existed before the catastrophe. Can Qin Lao prepare it? No. Qin Lao's straightforward answer almost suffocated Su Wei. Don't you look very arrogant? How come you don't even know how to make a life potion? Listen carefully, it's can't, not won't. There is a fundamental difference between the two, okay? Seeing Su Wei's eyes, old Qin corrected him sternly. He actually questioned his professional ability, which was absolutely zero tolerance. Why? Su Wei was surprised. Because there are no materials, old Qin looked down on Su Wei. Well, back to the topic at the beginning. Old Qin, what medicinal materials do you need? Give me a list and I'll try it. Su Wei decided to show off his skills first and give this arrogant old man a warning. Here, old Qin directly took out a piece of paper from the drawer and gave it to Su Wei. There were dozens of medicinal names densely written on it. Most of them were Chinese medicines, such as scutellaria, wolfberry, yam, etc., which were very common. Of course, there were also precious medicinal materials such as ginseng and deer antlers. But with Su Wei's current financial resources, it would be effortless to buy them. There are several kinds of Western medicines on it. There is no such thing as mutation, but the wasteland industry has reached zero, and it is not easy to get these Western medicines. Mr. Kin, how much do you need? The more the better. Got it. Suwei took the list and ran away. Alice, young man. Mr. Kin looked up and sighed, and then continued his research. After saying goodbye to Mr. Kin, Suwei found Ji Tongguang again. Hearing that Suwei was going to set up a science and technology department and hire scientific and technological talents like him to carry out scientific and technological revival, Ji Tongguang was immediately moved to tears. Isn't this the ideal he has always insisted on? Even if he was about to starve to death, he was unwilling to discard those technological products. Isn't it today that he was waiting? Therefore, the matter of the Ministry of Science and Technology was headed off. On the same day, Ji Tongguang ran to find a few like-minded scientific and technological talents and started the Ministry of Science and Technology. Suwei would naturally not treat hard-working employees unfairly, and directly advanced a week's food to them so that they could complete the assigned tasks with peace of mind. Afterwards, Suwei went to the place where large vehicles were sold in the camp and picked up an all-terrain modified transport vehicle that could carry dozens of tons of cargo. In the future, it will be Suwei's mobile warehouse, used to deal in supplies, otherwise it will appear in the camp out of thin air and it will be impossible to explain after a long time. As for the driving skills of the transport vehicle, he learned and sold it on the spot. There are not even policemen in the wasteland world, so where do the traffic police come from? As long as you know the operating steps, you can drive it casually. Anyway, it doesn't matter if you crash. The transport vehicle is originally a rough big guy, very tough. And it uses liquid hydrogen fuel, which is powerful. With Suwei's strength and physique, he quickly controlled this big guy, and he was very happy. He basically ignored the influence of the terrain and let him gallop. After driving more than 10 kilometers out of the camp, seeing that there was no one around, he put the car into the storage space, and then found a corner to hide, and then teleported back to the modern world. Nice. Perfect. Chapter 19 Life Potion. When he returned to the rental house, his cell phone started ringing. Suwei was too busy going out to check it, thinking he would talk on the way. But he had to drive on the way, so where would he have time? He really missed Li Xiaoman. She was so pretty and capable. What is that girl busy with recently? There was no message either. What does that mean? An hour later, Suwei came to the wholesale market of medicinal materials in Huidu City and found the largest store to buy medicinal materials. 1 ton of each kind, which almost scared the store owner to death. Don't forget the precious medicinal materials on it, which cost a lot of money in tons. But this is just a drizzle for Suwei, who earns at least 10 billion every day. After placing the order, Suwei left with the store owner's farewell, and then went straight to the Century Building in Huidu City. The headquarters of Ziwei Group is there. Park the car in the basement and take the elevator directly to the 18th floor. The headquarters of Ziwei Group has reserved an entire floor of the Century Building, which is quite luxurious. You know, the Century Building is the most luxurious office building in Huidu City, and the companies that can move in are all very powerful large companies. Sir, who are you looking for? Suwei arrived at the door but was stopped by a receptionist with a smile. I'm looking for President Xia, sir. Do you have an appointment? No. But, sorry, sir, you can't come in without an appointment. Do you need me to make an appointment for you now? The receptionist interrupted Suwei's words. Forget it, I'll call directly. Suwei shook his head, took out his mobile phone, and called Xiaowei. The receptionist looked indifferent, obviously not believing that Suwei had Xiaowei's phone number. Hello, Sister Wei, are you at the company headquarters now? Yes, what's the matter? Well, I'm at the door, come out and pick me up, okay? Wait for me, stinky brother. Xiaowei's voice was very cheerful. Hearing this address, Suwei couldn't help blushing a little, but unfortunately his protest was ineffective. Xiaowei liked to call him like this in private. In less than a minute, Xiaowei came out trotting instead of letting Secretary Zhao come out. President Xia, the receptionist was so scared that her face turned pale. Suwei didn't expect that he really had Xiaowei's phone number, and he didn't expect that he would be taken so seriously. If she delayed anything, she would be fired. Xiaowei, how come you have time to come here today? Xiaowei nodded at her, then stepped forward and took Suwei's arm. I want to ask you for help. Suwei smiled shyly. Did he see the surprised expression of the receptionist? Let's go to my office and talk. Xiaowei pulled Su Wei inside, but suddenly stopped when passing the reception. Wang Na, this is the company's new big boss Su Wei. Mr. Su, don't make the mistake next time, Xiaowei said to the receptionist with a smile. Ah, big boss. Wang Na at the reception was shocked. She actually turned away the big boss of the company, and her attitude was bad. I'm sorry, Mr. Su, I didn't mean to embarrass you. Wang Na hurriedly bowed to Su Wei at a 90-degree angle. It's okay, ignorance is not a crime. You've done a good job. I'm optimistic about you. Seeing Wang Na's trembling appearance, Su Wei hurriedly comforted her. Thank you, big boss. Seeing Su Wei was not angry, Wang Na was relieved. After watching Su Wei and Xiaowei walk into the company, Wang Na panted and returned to the front desk. Several beautiful young ladies immediately surrounded her and gossiped. Several people envied Wang Na for being able to leave a deep impression in front of the big boss. I'm afraid she will have a limitless future. After Su Wei and Xiaowei came to the office, they wrote down several Western medicine raw materials they needed and asked Xiaowei to help use her connections to buy some. Western medicine raw materials are different from traditional Chinese medicines, and they can't be bought casually on the market. Xiaowei naturally agreed to this matter, and didn't even ask Su Wei what he was going to buy raw materials for. Where do you want to eat tonight? After the matter was settled, Xiaowei saw that it was almost 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I want to eat you cough. Su Wei was about to say that he wanted to eat the food you cooked, but he didn't want to be choked by his saliva. Bah, stinky brother. Xiaowei's eyes were so soft that water could drip out. In the evening, the two returned to Yanshujian together. Zhang Dai and others had already left. Since Su Wei wanted to eat, Xiaowei naturally had no reason not to cook. The two chatted while cooking. Men and women work together, it's not tiring. Sister Wei, did Guo Minglian come to admit his mistake? No, Xiaowei said apologetically. Guo Zhuke asked the Luan family to pass on the message and let us stop here. If the Luan family intervened in this matter, it would be difficult for her to deal with it. Luan family? Okay, let's leave it at that for now. Brother, if you feel aggrieved, I will go to war with the Guo group tomorrow. It's okay, Sister Wei. As long as they don't interfere with each other in the future, I can let bygones be bygones. Su Wei said that he didn't care, but he had already made an arrangement in his heart. He didn't tell Xiaowei for the time being to avoid her worrying. After hearing what Su Wei said, Xiaowei was relieved. After dinner, the two sat in the living room to rest. Su Wei hadn't paid attention to the gold diggers for a few days, so he checked it out again. He wanted to make some more money for Xiaowei, but Xiaowei refused. After all, she didn't have much money to spend, and she was still receiving a high annual salary from the company. If she was greedy, she would not be Xiaowei anymore. Brother, you are so rich, why don't you wear better clothes? Otherwise the front desk wouldn't be guarding you like a thief. How about I go shopping with you tomorrow? Xiaowei said while dealing with the things at hand. As long as the clothes are comfortable to wear, it doesn't matter whether they are brand names or not. And shopping is so tiring. Online shopping is so convenient. Su Wei shook his head and refused directly. The painful experience of shopping with his ex-girlfriend was still vivid in his mind. Huh, stinky brother, Xiaowei was angry. What a wooden man. There was no conversation all night. When Su Wei got up in the morning, Xiaowei had already gone to the company. It is indeed a blessing for the boss to have such a dedicated and good employee. While eating the breakfast prepared by Xiaowei, he received a message from Xiaowei, saying that the raw materials had been obtained and asked where to send them. Su Wei sent the address of the warehouse he had rented in advance. Then Su Wei called the owner of the pharmacy and asked him to send the existing stock of medicinal materials to the designated warehouse first, and the rest would be sent after the goods arrived. In this way, after a whole morning of tossing and turning, the first batch of medicinal materials was finally gathered. After the delivery people left, Su Wei rushed to the warehouse to put the medicinal materials into the storage space, then returned to Yanshujian and teleported to the wasteland world. Coming out of the corner and finding no one, he threw out a transport truck from the space, put the medicinal materials and food into the car, and then drove the transport truck to the Phaeton base. When he arrived at the Phaeton base, he asked Songdan to find a big house and pile the medicinal materials in it. The other food was transported to the base warehouse as a reserve. Afterwards, Su Wei directly dragged Old Qin into the big house. Looking at the room full of medicinal materials, Old Qin almost fainted. Old Qin, Are these medicinal materials enough to prepare the life potion? Enough, enough, enough. Old Kin almost sang it. Boy, where did you get these herbs? Old Kin asked excitedly, pulling Sue. What a secret. Sue shook his legs proudly, and he was just about to have a cigarette. I said too much? Old Kin was not angry at Sue's answer. After all, there were too many people with secrets in the wasteland, and those without secrets were almost dead. Then happy cooperation, Sue stretched out his right hand to Old Kin, but was pushed aside by the old man, and then fell directly into the pile of herbs. Damn, this old fool. After urging Old Kin to quickly prepare the life potion, Sue ran to find you not to play. After playing for an afternoon, oh no, it was waiting for an afternoon. Old Kin finally prepared the life potion, a total of 3, and gave them all to Sue. After getting the potion, Sue said goodbye to Yuna and returned to the modern world. Chapter 20, Little White Face. It was already 6 o'clock in the evening when Sue returned to Yunshujian. He was a little impatient to tell Xiaowei about the life potion, but he found that she had not returned yet. He thought that the company was working overtime, but he waited until after 9 o'clock in the evening, but there was no sign of her. Could something have happened? Sue hurriedly took out his mobile phone and called. Fortunately, the phone was connected after 2 rings, and Xiaowei's voice came. Sister Wei, are you still in the company? No, I'm back in Beijing. Xiaowei's voice sounded a little depressed. Back in Beijing? When? What happened? Sue was shocked. This afternoon, my family called and said that my grandfather was critically ill, so I rushed back. I called you at that time, but I was out of service area. How is the situation? The situation is very bad. Xiaohu, I'm so scared. Xiaowei couldn't help crying. Sister Wei, don't worry, I have a way. I'll go to Beijing to find you now. Sue hurriedly comforted her. Really? Xiaowei seemed to be a drowning person who grabbed a life-saving straw. Don't worry. I'll be there soon, okay? Send me the flight number and I'll send someone to pick you up, okay? After hanging up the phone, Sue ran upstairs, changed his clothes, and went out to the airport. He booked the next flight to Beijing. When Sue arrived at the Beijing airport, it was already past 2 in the morning. There were not many passengers on the red-eye flight, and the entire airport seemed extremely deserted. Xiaowei, here. As soon as Sue walked out of the exit, he heard Xiaowei's call. Although there were not many people, Xiaowei's perfect figure and super high looks were there, which immediately attracted a lot of attention, and even Sue was targeted. However, these people were full of contempt for Sue. Who made him look like a potential pretty boy? Sister Wei. Why did you come in person? Sue hurried over. Xiaowei naturally took his arm. I'm worried about you. I have a doctor at home, so I'm fine, so I'll pick you up. Sue's arrival diluted a little sadness. Xiaowei smiled happily, but her eyes were a little red and swollen. I am so adult, what's there to worry about? Sue couldn't help but laugh and cry. I'm worried that you will be abducted by another woman, Xiaowei said with a smile on her face. The two of them showed off their dog food, envious of the dead, especially the young men, who wished they could replace Sue's position. HMPH, what's so cool about a young man? It's embarrassing to eat soft food. At this time, a middle-aged man wearing an expensive handmade suitcase couldn't help but say. As soon as these words came out, Xiaowei's attention was immediately attracted, and angry fireworks flashed in her big black eyes. If Sue hadn't pulled this, she would have wanted to beat someone up. Just kidding, does Sue still have to eat soft food? Who can be richer than him in one night? Hello, beautiful lady. I am Zhang Nianlin, the general manager of Helen International Asia Pacific. This is my business card. The middle-aged man felt that he had attracted the attention of the beautiful lady. He immediately came over with a smile on his face. He gracefully took out a business card holder made of pure gold from his arms and pulled out a gold-plated business card. Helen International, oh my god, it's one of the top 500 companies in the world. Passers-by were all shocked when they heard the name of Helen International. Anyone who has some understanding of society must have heard of the name of Helen International. It is definitely a behemoth. Let's go. Xiaowei snorted coldly and pulled Sue to leave. Miss, don't go. If your family has a company, I can help it grow bigger and stronger, and it may even go beyond the continent. Zhang Nianlin couldn't help but step forward and block the way for the two of them. Get lost. Sue directly stretched out his hand to push Zhang Nianlin away. This guy is really disgusting. Ouch. Zhang Nianlin was gently pushed by Su Wei, and he involuntarily stepped back several steps and almost sat down. Boy, you. When Zhang Nianlin stabilized his body and wanted to make trouble for Su Wei, he saw several black-clad bodyguards following them. Zhang Nianlin immediately lost the confidence to chase after them. What are you looking at? Humph, a gigolo who lives on women. I will find someone to kill you sooner or later. After yelling at the passers-by who were gloating over his misfortune, he left angrily with a mutter. Ha ha ha, it really made me laugh to death. I told you to put on some nice clothes, but you didn't listen. Now in other people's eyes, you are my sponsored gigolo, sitting in a high-end commercial vehicle. Xiaowei laughed so hard that tears came out. The front and back rows of this car were separated, so there was no need to worry that the driver would hear it. Sister Wei, I came from afar to help you. Is it okay for you to do this? Don't you feel guilty? Su Wei had a helpless expression on his face. But he had to thank Zhang Nianlin in his heart. At least he made Xiaowei happy for a while, so she didn't have to be immersed in sadness all the time. I'm sorry, I just can't help it. Xiaowei covered her mouth and laughed for a long time before she stopped. Sister Wei, I have a potion that can prolong life, but there is no information about it. I wonder if you dare to give it to the old man. After chatting for a while, Su Wei asked Xiaowei seriously. After all, he couldn't explain the origin of the life potion. Xiaowei was stunned when she heard that Su Wei had a Wei on the phone before, and thought it was just words of comfort, but she didn't expect it to be true. Are you sure it works? Xiaowei confirmed. After all, she had never heard of a potion that could prolong life. I can be 100% sure that it works, Su Wei nodded confidently. The wasteland world is 500 years more advanced than the modern world, and many technologies are unimaginable. Okay, then I'll take you to see Grandpa. A ray of hope ignited in Xiaowei's eyes. She trusted Su Wei's words 100%. At that moment, Xiaowei told the driver in front not to go to the hotel, but to go directly to the old house of the Xia family instead. More than an hour later, the luxury business car drove into an old house in the heart of Beijing. This was once a royal palace, and even the guards at the door were soldiers in uniform. Compared with it, Su Wei's courtyard was nothing. Xiaowei led Su Wei to the backyard without any obstruction. It was already past 3 a.m., but the courtyard was still brightly lit. Civil servants in stand-up collars, doctors and nurses in white, and even generals in military uniforms were standing in the yard, looking in the direction of the master bedroom with worried expressions. When everyone saw Xiaowei and Su Wei coming in, they all showed puzzled expressions. Xiaowei, the old man is like this, and you are still running around. Don't you think it's not messy enough? As soon as he entered the door, a man in his 40s or 50s said with an unhappy look. Uncle, a friend of mine came to visit Grandpa overnight, and I went to the airport to pick him up. Is Grandpa awake? Xiaowei looked apologetic to the man. The speaker was Xiao Guoyang, the eldest son of Grandpa Xia. In this room also sat the eldest Aunt Pan Yiling and some close relatives. As for her parents, they were accompanying the old man in the inner room. Friends? It's already this time, and you're still bringing unrelated people home. Do you still have the old man in your heart? Xia Guoyang glanced at the unfamiliar Su Wei, and became even angrier. How come Xiaowei is getting worse and worse? Why did she bring a brat here at this time? Is it for a wedding? No matter how poor the Xia family is, they won't be so hungry. Uncle, Xiaowei felt wronged and wanted to cry, but she couldn't explain it, because Su Wei asked her to keep the matter of the life potion strictly confidential on the way here. Okay, the old man just woke up and kept talking about you. Let's go in and take a look. Xiao Guoyang looked impatient and indescribably irritated. The old man who had been in a coma for nearly a year has been awake frequently recently, but it is not a good sign. In the words of the doctor, it may be a last gasp. Wait, he can't go. Seeing that Xiaowei was going to take Su Wei into the inner room, Xiao Guoyang was unhappy again. Uncle, he is my friend, and he came to see Grandpa specially. Xiaowei's face was slightly angry. Now is an extraordinary period, who knows what he is thinking. Besides, the old man is very weak, what if he is infected with some disease? Xiao Guoyang had a stern face, looking at everyone with displeasure. But, Sister Wei, you go, I'll wait here. Xiaowei was about to refute, but was pulled by Su Wei. This is not the time to argue. What if the old man can't wait and leaves? Then his life potion will be in vain. Okay, Wait for me, Xiaowei nodded while holding the potion that Su Wei quietly gave her in her palm. With that, Xiaowei went into the inner room. Xiaoguang didn't say anything, and the others pretended not to see it. Su Wei had no choice but to stand in the corridor outside the door and wait patiently. Chapter 21 Life Number 1. Xiaoyi, where did you go just now? As soon as Xiaowei entered the inner room, Xiaoguang, Xiaowei's father, scolded with an unhappy look on his face. I went to the airport to pick up a friend. Grandpa, Xiaowei walked quickly to the bed and shouted at the old man who had opened his eyes on the bed. He was the pillar of the Xia family and one of the few remaining elders of the Xia family, Xia Yehu. A woman stood in front of the bed. It was Xiaowei's mother Qin Huzhen. Pick up a friend? It's so late, you, okay, Guaoi, Xiaoyi's friend is here, what's wrong with picking her up? Xia Guaoi wanted to say a few more words, but was interrupted by Xia Yehu on the bed. Dad, you can't always spoil Xiaoyi, it's not good, Xia Guaoi said with a wry smile. This old man doesn't give face. Girls, you can only be spoiled at home, otherwise who else can you expect to spoil? Don't you think it's Xiaoyi? Xia Yehu looked at Xiaowei kindly, with endless love in his eyes. That's right, Grandpa is right, Xiaowei pouted and looked at her father provocatively, making the latter dare not speak. Haha, this made Xia Yehu laugh out loud. After fighting for half a lifetime, isn't this little family happiness what he longs for? Grandpa, I have something to discuss with you, Xiaowei said with a look of wanting to say something but stopping. Guaoi, Huzhen. You are tired too, go and rest first. Let Xiaowei accompany me to talk for a while. Xia Yehu is old and cunning, and he didn't know what Xiaowei meant. Okay, then you guys chat less and pay attention to rest. Xiaowei, take good care of Grandpa, got it, go ahead. Xiaowei almost pushed the two out. There was no way, she was very anxious now. Just tell me what's going on, you little devil. After everyone left, Xia Yehu asked. Grandpa, how do you feel now? Xiaowei's face became serious. We know the situation ourselves. I'm afraid we don't have much time left. But it's good. We can go and reunite with your grandma. She has been waiting there for so many years. She has worked hard. Xia Huai was slightly stunned when he saw Xiaowei's serious expression, but soon he said in an open-minded manner. Grandpa, if there is a medicine that can make you live at least another 10 years, are you willing to use it? But the premise is that I can't tell you any information about the medicine, and after using it, you must keep it strictly confidential, even to my parents. Xiaowei was of course aware of Grandpa's physical condition, but he still needed to make a decision on this matter. Did your friend bring this? Xia Yehu frowned slightly. This sounded a bit unbelievable. You know, he is now more than 90 years old. If he lives another 10 years, he will be more than 100 years old. Yes, Xiaowei nodded, and then looked at Grandpa nervously. Okay. I agree. Although I miss your grandma very much, I also know that the current Xia family still needs me, and the current Xia country still needs me. Xia Yehu made a decision quickly. Anyway, it's like this, can there be a worse result? What if it's true? Upon hearing this, Xiaowei quickly took out a golden potion hidden in her sleeve and gave it to Xia Yehu. After about a quarter of an hour, Xia Yehu felt warm and comfortable all over, and even the old pain in his old wound seemed to have disappeared. He had never felt so relaxed. Grandpa, how do you feel? Xiaowei kept an eye on Xia Yehu's expression. Seeing a healthy blush on his face, she couldn't help but ask. Good. I feel better than ever. What a magical potion. Does it have a name? Xia Yehu said excitedly. My friend calls it Life Number 1 Doctor, come quickly. Xiaowei suddenly rushed out and shouted. Unfortunately, except Su Wei, no one noticed the joy on Xiaowei's face. What's wrong? Hurry up, doctor. The yard suddenly became a mess. Xiaoguang and Xiaoguao immediately rushed into the old man's bedroom, but they were dumbfounded after entering. The originally weak patient was actually walking back and forth in the room, and his face was flushed, and there was a trace of illness there. Dad, don't scare me. Go back to bed and lie down. Xiaoguao was so scared that he couldn't speak clearly. Scare you? I'm tired of lying down, can't I get up and walk around? Xia Yehu saw the expressions of his two sons and was immediately furious. He stretched out his hand and gave Xiaoguao a slap. Ouch, old man, be gentle, Dad, are you okay? Xiaoguao grimaced in pain, but was stunned the next moment. This was not the way a patient should be. It hurt more than when he was beaten when he was a child. Well, I felt better suddenly, so I asked Xiaoyi to call the doctor to come in and take a look. Why are you making a fuss? Old man Xiao looked proud. It was mainly because he had been lying in bed for a long time and now he needed to release some energy. Doctor, Xiao Guoying and Xiao Guoyi hurriedly asked the doctor to come forward for diagnosis. After a preliminary examination, the doctors were stunned. Because from all indications, Xia Yihu's body is recovering well. Just like an old machine, it has gained new power and is brand new. However, the final result can only be determined after further examination. But this alone is enough to shock people. Okay, seeing Xiao Wei coming towards him, Su Wei smiled. Well, don't be offended. Uncle and others didn't mean to neglect you. It's all because of Grandpa's matter that they are in a bad mood. Xiao Wei nodded first, then said apologetically. It doesn't matter. I just came to see you anyway. Su Wei smiled indifferently. Don't worry, little brother, sister will double compensate you. Xiao Wei grabbed Su Wei's hand and whispered. The lute sound made people have endless reverie. Xiao Wei, Grandpa asked you to invite your friend in. Just then, Xiao Guoyan came over with a puzzled expression on his face, and when he looked at Su Wei, he was somewhat embarrassed. He had stopped him outside the door before, and now the old man asked to see him. Isn't this a fuss? Got it, uncle. Xiao Wei immediately pulled Su Wei towards Grandpa's bedroom. Brother, who is that kid? Xiao Guoyi and his wife looked at Xiao Wei and brought a strange young man, and asked loudly. It is said that it is a friend who went to the airport to pick him up late at night. I don't know anything else. Isn't it Xiaoyi's boyfriend? The old man showed signs of recovery, and Xiao Guoyang was more gossipy at this moment. I haven't heard Xiaoyi mention this. Xiao Guoyi and his wife looked at each other and smiled bitterly. This girl is really spoiled by the old man. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22, Taking the Exam. Grandpa, his name is Su Wei, and he's a friend I met in Huadu City. In the bedroom, Xiao Wei introduced him to Xia Yihu. Why? Isn't he your boyfriend? Xia Yihu looked disappointed. Su Wei's outstretched right hand stopped in midair. Grandpa, what are you talking about? Xiao Wei blushed with shame. Although she was willing in her heart, she still felt embarrassed to say it in front of Su Wei. Haha, young man, it's just a joke. Don't mind. Xia Yihu laughed and stretched out his hand to shake hands with Su Wei. His calloused palm was very strong. No mind. I heard from Sister Wei that you were not feeling well, so I came to see you. Su Wei hurriedly restrained the strength in his hand, otherwise the old man might not be able to resist. Well, not bad. You are thoughtful. I call you Xiaohu, okay? Xia Yihu withdrew his big hand without leaving a trace. Of course, Xiaohu, what do you do? I'm still a student, but I'm about to graduate. Student? Xia Yihu was stunned for a moment. He was a little young. Grandpa, don't be fooled by his appearance. He is a student, but he is actually a hidden tycoon. Ziwei Group was acquired by him, and your granddaughter is working for him now, Xiao Wei said with a smile on her face. I see, no wonder you entrusted Ziwei Group to Xiaohu. It's true that the young are formidable. When mentioning Ziwei Group, Xia Yihu showed a trace of apology on his face. Ziwei Group was originally established for Xiao Wei. Since she took over, she has devoted a lot of effort, but because of the relationship with the Luan family, the company has been struggling, and finally had to sell the company to subsidize the Xia family. 30 billion is not a lot for the entire Xia family, but it is real cash that can solve many of the Xia family's urgent needs. Grandpa, thank you for the compliment, Su Wei said modestly. Grandpa, let me tell you. Su Wei is amazing. He has a team working in finance. Making money is as easy as drinking water. When talking about Su Wei, Xiao Wei talked endlessly, telling everything from the time she met him until now. There were even some interesting things that Su Wei didn't remember, but she was still happy for a long time. Looking at Xiao Wei's expression, the old and experienced Xia Yihu didn't understand his granddaughter's thoughts. Looking at Su Wei, he was also quite good, a young man with a spirited look, and there was a familiar aura on him, which made him appreciate him even more. Su Wei thought that Grandpa Xia would ask about the life potion, but unexpectedly he didn't mention it, as if he really got better suddenly. This made Su Wei feel relieved. After all, that thing was too advanced. Once leaked, it might bring him endless troubles. This chat lasted until dawn. The two sons came in several times to persuade him to rest, but they were all driven away by the old man. I have been lying down for a year. Now I am better, and you don't allow me to chat for a while. Finally, Xia Yihu announced in front of all the family members that Su Wei would be his close friend regardless of age difference and the most important guest of the Xia family. This decision shocked the Xia family. I don't know what kind of magic potion Su Wei gave to Mr. Xia to win such an honor. However, it doesn't matter anymore. Mr. Xia's improvement is great news for the Xia family. If Mr. Xia lives longer, the status of the Xia family may move forward. Of course, these things have nothing to do with Su Wei. In the next few days, Xia Wei, on the orders of the old man, took Su Wei to eat, drink and have fun in Beijing, and felt the life of the old Beijingers. In the evening, just as Su Wei returned to the hotel, Zhang Dai called. Hello, Lao Zhang, what's up, Lao Su, what are you busy with? Oh, Sister Wei has something to do and is back in Beijing, so I came to see her. You're in Beijing, well, what's up, what else? The final exam is tomorrow. Aren't you going to graduate? I'll go. After receiving Zhang Dai's call, Su Wei hurriedly called Xia Wei and told her that he was going back to school for the exam. As a result, Xia Wei wanted to follow him back to Huidu City without saying a word, and the two agreed to meet at the airport. As for the air tickets, the Xia family would naturally book them, which was much faster than Su Wei doing it himself. Dad, Mom, I'm going back to Huidu City. Xia Wei rushed out of the bedroom dragging a small suitcase and said to Xiao Guoyi and Qin Huzhen, who were sitting in the living room. Xia Aoi, why is it so sudden? Xiao Guoyi put down the newspaper in his hand with a look of surprise. It's so late, why don't you leave tomorrow? Qin Huzhen put down the trivial matters in her hands and looked concerned. No. Su Wei has an exam tomorrow, so he has to rush back to Huidu City tonight. Oh, by the way, Mom, I won't go to say goodbye to Grandpa. Please tell him tomorrow morning. I'll come back to see him when I'm free, Xia Wei said as she walked towards the door. Hey, put on more clothes. Let Lao Qin take you to the airport. Qin Huzhen hurriedly got up and chased after him. Lao Qin is Xiao Guoyi's full-time driver and a relative from her mother's family. He is safe and reliable. I know, Mom. Go back, Xia Wei said and left. In this old house of the Xia family, Grandpa Xia lives in the main courtyard, and the two sons live in the left and right side courtyards respectively. Old Xia, why don't you talk about your daughter? Qin Huzhen sat back on the sofa with a look of reluctance. In the past, in order to avoid the harassment of the Luan family, her daughter had been running around all year round. Now that the old man is recovering, he no longer has to be afraid of the Luan family, but he still can't stop. The old man has spoken. What can I say? Xiao Guoyi picked up the newspaper again with a sour expression on his face. Puff, Qin Huzhen suddenly couldn't help laughing. What are you laughing at? Xiao Guoyi looked at his wife in confusion. She had a sad face just now, why is she so happy now? Hard to understand. I'm laughing at your jealous look. Humph, you didn't do this for me back then. The daughter is really the little lover of her father in the last life, Qin Huzhen said with jealousy. Huh. We are already an old couple. Why are you talking about this? Xiao Guoyi couldn't help blushing. Who made him jealous of Su Wei and his heart? Why? Do you think I'm old? No, no. You will always be 20 years old in my eyes. Xia Wei naturally knew nothing about what happened in the room. When she rushed to the airport, Su Wei was already waiting there. After the two met, they walked directly to the VIP channel because there was a plane flying to Huidu City. When Su Wei and Xia Wei returned to Huidu City, it was already 1 o'clock in the morning. But Xia Wei's driver was already waiting at the airport and sent them directly back to Yanshujian to rest. Chapter 23 Betting. In the next few days, Su Wei was in school, going all out for the exam. Although he had the ability to remember everything he saw, Su Wei still took this exam very seriously. After all, it was the last large-scale exam in college, and he would have to work hard for his graduation project next. The exam is over. After the last subject was over, the whole classroom, and even the whole campus, began to boil. Old Su, how did you do in the exam? In the classroom, Zhang Dai and Zhuang Su gathered around Su Wei. It's okay. It doesn't feel difficult, Su Wei said casually. Oh, it's not difficult. Who do you think you are? If you have the ability, get the first place in the exam and show it to everyone. Before Zhang Doi and Zhuang Su could respond, a sour voice came out from the side. Looking in the direction of the voice, a thin and tall boy with glasses and acne on his face looked at Su Wei with contempt. The boy's name was Wang Jiwei, and he was the monitor of their class, a top student, and had been ranked first in the class for 3 consecutive years. Wang Jiwei's voice was not small, and immediately attracted the attention of the whole class. Wang Jiwei, you are sick, aren't you? What's your business about the 3 of us chatting? Zhang Su was the first to be unhappy. This guy has good grades and can flatter the teacher, so he always acts superior to his classmates. It's really none of my business. Someone said that the test questions are not difficult this time, and it seems that he can get full marks. I want to see if he can get the first place. Wang Jiwei stared at Su Wei and said, looking like a shrew quarreling in the vegetable market. You? Zhang Su was speechless. This guy is really sick. He took others' jokes seriously? How did I do in the exam? What does it have to do with you? Su Wei said with a frown. Did this guy take the wrong medicine? What he didn't know was that since the last time the school beauty he came to ask him out, he became the public enemy of the boys in Huitou University and became famous in every corner of the school. Of course it matters. If you get the first place, my scholarship will be gone, Wang Jiwei said as if it was a matter of course. Oh my god. What kind of thinking is this? It seems that this scholarship can only be for your family? Huh. Scholarships are for students with excellent character and academic performance, not arrogant ones. Su Wei was so angry that he laughed, and emphasized the pronunciation of the word character. Su Wei, who are you calling arrogant? Wang Jiwei was furious. Some people are like this. They can criticize others, but others cannot criticize them. Even if they make the same mistake. Just criticize whoever responds. Anyway, it's not me. Su Wei had a disdainful look on his face. In the past, he still had a little admiration for the academic bully, but now, Wang Jiwei has made himself a villain. Okay. Su Wei, I'm going to fight you today. If you can get the first place in the final exam this semester, I will eat shit live on the live broadcast. If you can't get the first place, you will eat shit live on the live broadcast, Wang Jiwei roared with a ferocious face. Psycho, Su Wei said and walked towards the classroom door. Zhang Dai and Zhuang Su also stood up. Su Wei, you are scared, right? Then take back your arrogant words just now, saying that you are an incompetent wimp. Wang Jiwei had no intention of keeping things quiet. That's right, don't you know what kind of person you are? You dare to challenge the top student in our class. You are really asking for trouble. At this time, another boy joined the ranks of denouncing Su Wei. It was Su Wei's roommate Rao Haichuan. This undoubtedly increased Wang Jiwei's momentum, and at the same time made other students look surprised. Even a roommate in the dormitory took advantage of him. It seems that Su Wei is not a good person. No wonder he was dumped by the class beauty Liu Tingting. By the way, where's Liu Tingting? Everyone realized that Su Wei's ex-girlfriend Liu Tingting was also one of the onlookers, and she had a gloating expression on her face. Su Wei, who was halfway there, suddenly stopped, then turned around abruptly, walked a few steps to Wang Jiwei and Rao Haichuan, and looked at them with a cold face. What, you're not convinced, you want to hit someone? Wang Jiwei and Rao Haichuan were fearless, with a hint of joy in their eyes. Huzi, Zhang Dai and Zhuang Su held Su Wei on the left and right. The nature of fighting in school is different. Eating shit live is too disgusting. How about this? Whoever loses will run around naked on the school playground. Do you dare to bet? Su Wei did not act impulsively, but said with a smile on his face, but everyone could see the coldness in his smile. Huh? This time it was Wang Jiwei and Rao Haichuan's turn to be stunned. Shouldn't this guy rush up to beat them up? Then Guo Xiao could take the opportunity to put pressure on the school and expel Su Wei from Huitou University. Huh. If you don't dare, get out of the way and don't delay my meal, Su Wei said with a mocking face. Dare? What's there to be afraid of? Class monitor, with your strength, are you afraid of him? Seeing that Su Wei was about to leave, Rao Haichuan immediately agreed. Okay. Let's make a bet. Thinking of the high reward and his confidence in himself, Wang Jiwei nodded vigorously. Okay, I've recorded it. Don't cheat when the time comes, Su Wei said, shaking the phone in his hand. Wang Jui and the others suddenly had a sense of foreboding, but they were quickly forced out of their minds by the two. With Su Wei's previous performance, it would be impossible for him to get the first place even if you performed exceptionally well. The three of them came out of the classroom and walked to the school gate, ready to have a big meal. Old Su, you are too impulsive. How could you make such a bet with Wang Jui? Zhang Dai and Zhang Su looked worried. Don't worry, the one who ran naked will definitely not be me. Let's prepare the melon seeds and just watch the show. Su Wei was not worried at all. He originally wanted to have a brilliant last journey in college, but he didn't expect that someone would run into the gun. Who can he go to for justice? I think this matter has something to do with Guo Minglian, Zhang Su said, gritting his teeth. Hey, old Zhang, you are possessed by Direnji, Su Wei couldn't help but joked. It's just a louse on a bald head, it's obvious. We don't have much contact with Wang Jui. Rao Heichuan is cheering on the side. He must be looking for trouble. Zhang Su stroked his chin with an unfathomable look. Get out, young man, don't pretend, be careful of being struck by lightning. Zhang Dai pushed Zhang Su without giving him face. Fuck, old Zhang, you are murdering me. Take my trick of monkey picking peaches. The immortal points the way. The two of them immediately started fighting without any scruples. Creak. At this moment, a red convertible Ferrari stopped next to the three people. Chapter 24. Buy a car and get a car model for free. Oh, is this a fight in the family? Zhang Su, Zhang Doi, I advise you not to follow Su Wei anymore, or you will be embarrassed sooner or later, Guo Minglian, who was sitting in the driver's seat, said jokingly, and Liu Tingting, who was dressed in a fancy dress, was sitting next to him. Did you see that? I said it was this guy who did it. Zhang Su looked at Zhang Dai with a smug look on his face. Look at how capable you are, everyone knows that. Zhang Dai looked like he didn't care about you, which made Zhang Su so angry that his teeth itched. Hey, I'm talking to you, don't be shameless. Seeing that no one paid attention to him, Guo Minglian's face turned black with anger. Okay, Guo Minglian, just say whatever you want. Don't waste my time, Su Wei said directly in a cold voice. Hello, you have guts? Su Wei, I'm waiting to see your naked show, and I will buy the best camera to record the most glorious moment of your life. Although Guo Minglian was angry, considering Su Wei's fighting ability, he could only temporarily hold back the harsh words that were about to come out of his mouth. Ha. By the way, Ting Ting and I will fly directly to Heichang tonight and spend time together there. The beach, swimsuits, and hotel are exciting just to think about, Guo Minglian said as he hugged Liu Tingting beside him and kissed her wantonly. Liu Tingting looked shy, but her reluctant but welcoming look made her even more attractive. Su Wei frowned. It seemed that the 2 slaps last time did not teach this guy any lesson. Seeing Su Wei frown, Guo Minglian thought he was angry, and a sense of revenge suddenly surged in his heart. He was still brooding over what happened in the bar last time. With the intervention of the Luan family, Xia Wei and Su Wei's silence made Guo Minglian feel that the Xia family was nothing special. Are you envious? Su Wei, I heard from Tingting that when you were together, you just held hands at most. I'm going to check it out this time to see if Tingting is lying to me. Ha. Guo Minglian's sneer made Liu Tingting beside him feel ashamed, but she would not get off the Ferrari anyway. This is what it means to rather cry in a BMW than laugh on a bicycle. Thank you Mr. Guo for taking over. To be honest, I've had enough of it. I wish you two have fun and enjoy yourself, Su Wei laughed. By now, Su Wei had seen it clearly. Being abandoned by such a heartless woman is not a bad thing. Su Wei, don't say that grapes are sour because you can't eat them. You are just like this. You are jealous to death in your heart, but you still want to save face on your face, Liu Tingting said proudly. I envy you. Su Wei looked at a face that didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Su Wei, just admit it. I promise not to laugh at you. Guo Minglian looked proud. Boom boom. At this moment, a violent street explosion sound came. Squeak! A red and black super sports car stopped next to the Ferrari. The wedge-shaped nose, teardrop-shaped glass compartment, streamlined body, full of science fiction. Compared with it, Guo Minglian's Ferrari suddenly lost its appeal. Such a cool super sports car immediately attracted a large number of passers-by. As the crowd watched, the door of the super sports car rose up, and the gull-wing door design was so cool that it had no friends. A long white leg stretched out from the car, and then a beautiful woman in a blue dress came out. Beautiful cars and beautiful women, A visual feast. Xiaohu, the beautiful woman, took off her sunglasses and walked towards Su Wei. Sister Wei, what are you doing? Su Wei had a headache, and looking at the hot eyes around him, he knew that he was going to be famous again. Yes, the person who came was the leader of the royal sister world, President Xiaowiksha. Happy birthday. Do you like the gift I gave you? Xiaowei had a sweet smile on her face and stretched out a delicate hand. In her white palm, there lay a unique car key. Thank you. Su Wei felt warm in his heart. He didn't expect that Xiaowei would remember what he said casually. Do we need to talk about this? Xiaowei said as she stuffed the car key into Su Wei's hand. Is this car rented? After being surprised, Liu Tingting had a mocking look on her face. Wind God. Damn, it's Pagani Wind God. A super sports car priced at 90 million actually appeared in Huatou City at this time. Someone had already searched the internet for the information of the super sports car Xiaowei drove, which immediately caused a burst of exclamations. What the hell? Pagani Wind God, 90 million? It must be fake. Liu Tingting was almost scared to pee. 90 million. What a concept. Ordinary people, wealth that they can't accumulate in several lifetimes. Shut up. Without waiting for others to speak, Guo Minglian yelled at Liu Tingting with a dark face. Long hair, short knowledge. Isn't it embarrassing enough? It's rented. Who has a brain disease to rent a 90 million car? Others don't know that Guo Minglian, as a rich second generation, is not blind. He also wants a 90 million supercar, but his family will never agree. What surprised him was that Xiaowei was willing to spend so much money for Su Wei. However, if he knew that Su Wei helped Xiaowei earn 600 million in one night, then this Pagani function would not be surprising. Oh my god, it's really a function. Old Su, you are so lucky. Sister Wei, do you have any girlfriends? Zhang Su came to the supercar, reached out and touched the carbon fiber body, with envy and jealousy on his face. Xiao Su, should I discuss this with Xiaoxin first? Xiaowei said with a smile. Ugh. Too careless. Sister Wei, please let him go. Zhang Su immediately looked bitter. He deserved it. Zhang Dai did not forget to add another blow. Dai, Xiaoxu, I'm taking him away now. Do you have any objections? Xiaowei held Su Wei's arm. No problem. Sister Wei, whatever. Zhang Dai and Zhang Su pushed Su Wei out inhumanely. Let's go. Xiaowei pulled Su Wei into the Pagani function, and then drove away amid a burst of street noise. Oh my god. What's going on? Buy a car and get a car model for free? The onlookers were confused. Excuse me, where is Su Wei? When everyone was still looking at the exhaust of the Pagani function, a clear and beautiful voice like the sound of birds in the valley sounded. Fuck. The school beauty of He University, Zhang Dai and Zhang Su turned around and were startled by the beautiful girl in front of them. The onlookers who were about to retreat immediately surrounded them again, and their enthusiasm was even higher than before. There was no way. The popularity of the school beauty of He University was always ridiculously high. Excuse me, where did Su Wei go? He Shuang asked again with a smile on her face. He left. Where did he go? He was picked up by Sister Wei. Sister Wei, that's Xiaowei. The president of Ziwei Group. What? That old vixen got there first. Humph. When the school beauty he heard Xiaowei's name, she immediately got angry and stomped her feet on the ground in anger. Of course, she is still a beautiful girl even when she gets angry, and she has a unique flavor. Old vixen? Got there first? Oh my. The school beauty he is actually jealous. The onlookers were confused again. Su Wei, come back soon. We promise not to beat you to death. Minglian, let's go. When everyone was talking about Su Wei, Liu Tingting said woodenly. Go to hell. Guo Minglian's face was so gloomy that it was about to drip with water. The original show of pretending to be a big shot turned into a show of slapping his face. At this moment, his face hurt a lot. You? Liu Tingting looked at Guo Minglian in astonishment. Hey, Tingting, I'm sorry, I just fainted from anger. Please don't blame me, okay? Yeah, okay. Chapter 25 Big and Small Vixen. Boom boom boom. The sound of the function exploding was intoxicating, and the 3.2-second 100-meter acceleration provided an excellent sense of pushback. Su Wei drove Xiaowei to a secluded suburb, and couldn't help but race wildly. He finally understood why humans are so keen on the pursuit of speed. Being as free as the wind is indeed a very pleasant thing. Xiaowei sat quietly in the co-pilot's seat, smiling at Su Wei, playing like a big child. It was not until nightfall that Su Wei drove the Fengshan back to the city with an unsatisfied mind. Under Xia Wei's guidance, they came to the gate of Gishixuan. Compared with Huaga dynasty, Gishixuan is closer to the ancient style of Xia. Carved beams and painted buildings, waterside pavilions and pavilions, a state of quiet in the bustle. To be honest, I prefer the style of Gishixuan. Su Wei walked into Gishixuan accompanied by Xia Wei. It's good that you like it, it's all your property anyway, Xia Wei said with a smile. Boss Xia, the manager of Gishixuan, saw Xia Wei coming in and hurried over. Manager Guan, this is the company's new big boss, Su Wei, Xiaohu, this is Guan Xiaohu, the general manager of Gishixuan. Xia Wei introduced the two to each other. Hello, big boss. Guan Xiaohu's face was obviously stunned, but she quickly reacted and hurriedly greeted Su Wei. Manager Guan, you're welcome. Sister Wei will be the main manager in the future. Su Wei hurriedly clarified that he was still thinking about living a free and easy life. Okay, big boss, Guan Xiaohu nodded. By the way, Manager Guan, are you ready for everything I want? Xia Wei continued. Ready, President Su, President Xia, please follow me. As she said that, Guan Xiaohu took the two to an independent private room surrounded by green bamboos, a small bridge and flowing water, and the scenery was unique. A full banquet for 10 people was already set on the solid wood table in the private room. Of course, this is a modern version of the ancient dishes restored and improved. Thank you, Sister Wei. Seeing such a grand dish, Su Wei couldn't help but thank Xia Wei. This birthday was the happiest one he had had since he left home. What are you thanking me for? These are all yours. I'm just borrowing flowers to thank Buddha. Xia Wei reached out and pushed Su Wei to the main seat, then sat down next to his right, looking at him with a smile on her face. Well, let me ask Doi where they are. Su Wei felt a little uncomfortable being looked at, and hurriedly took out his mobile phone to call. He had sent a message to the two of them before, asking them to get together in the evening. Hey, Lao Zhang, have you arrived? The call was quickly connected. Yes, but Lao Su, a friend is coming with us, do you mind? Zhang Dao's voice was a little vague. Friends? Sure, it's lively with more people. Come in when you arrive, at King Xiaozu. Su Wei thought it was Zhang Dao's friend and didn't take it seriously. Okay, I'll be right there. With that, the phone was hung up. After a while, a group of people walked in, led by Manager Guan. Zhang Dao was in front, followed by Zhang Su and her girlfriend Hu Xiaoxin, and then there was no one else. Hey, old Zhang, where's the friend you mentioned? Su Wei couldn't help asking. She went to the bathroom and will be here in a while. Zhang Dao looked a little embarrassed, and he glanced at Xia Wei. Okay, sit down first. And we can start when everyone is here. Xia Wei hurriedly asked the three to sit down, since they were all acquaintances. Hu Xiaoxin sat down next to Xia Wei, and Zhang Su followed her naturally. But Zhang Dao didn't sit next to Su Wei, but sat next to Zhang Su. Although Su Wei was a little strange, the place was big and he could sit anywhere. Su Wei, happy birthday. Just as everyone sat down, a beautiful girl in a pink dress and twin ponytails walked in. Oh, Hada campus beauty. Why are you here? Could it be? Su Wei stood up in surprise. Yes, I didn't let Zhang Doi and the others tell you, because I wanted to give you a surprise. How is it? Is it a surprise? He Shuang looked at Su Wei with a charming smile. Yes, it's quite surprising. Su Wei didn't know why, but he felt a sense of shock in his heart. I knew it. He Shuang smiled happily, and her little tiger teeth were particularly eye-catching. He Shuang, no one invited you. Why are you here? Xia Wei saw He Shuang, her face changed, like a cold and beautiful queen. If you can come, why can't I come? He Shuang's face also changed, like a stubborn princess, not giving in. Do you know each other? Su Wei was stunned when he heard the voice. No, the two women answered in unison. Zilla. There was an arc of electricity in the eyes of the two women looking at each other. Ahem, guests are welcome, please sit down. He campus beauty. Su Wei naturally couldn't drive He Shuang out. Thank you. Just call me Shuang. He Shuang immediately sat on Su Wei's left hand. Oh my. One is the leader of the royal sister world, and the other is the ceiling of the pure world. Hugging left and right, enjoying the blessing of having two women forever. Unfortunately, only Su Wei himself knows the bitterness and joy of it. He Shuang and Xiaowei are like a pair of mortal enemies, arguing with each other. Suwei, who was sitting in the middle, naturally became the center of the storm and suffered the pain that he shouldn't have suffered. Fortunately, the meal didn't last long and ended in about an hour. But what happened next was a headache. Xiaowei suggested going to karaoke, and he Shuang suggested going to see the night view. The two women were deadlocked and looked at Suwei. I want to go home and sleep. I'm too tired from the exams these days. Suwei suddenly had an idea. Haha, I'm really a genius. Yes, the exams are too tiring, and we also want to go back and rest. Zhang Dai and the other two quickly agreed. Okay, then let's go home. Xiaowei couldn't help but look proud. She and Suwei lived in Yanshujian, so it can be said that they were close to the water and got the moon first. Okay. But I also want to visit your new home, he Shuang said with a pitiful expression. Suwei was worried that the war would spread, so he looked at Zhang Dai and others for help. They came here in Shuang's BMW, and they could ask to be sent back. I'll go get a taxi first. Zhang Dai was the first to run away. What a joke, dare to offend the school beauty he. Unless you don't want to leave Huidu University alive. Goodbye. Zhang Su directly dragged Hu Xiaoxin away. Well, okay, Suwei replied blankly. I knew you would agree. He Shuang immediately smiled, and at the same time, she did not forget to look at Xiaowei provocatively. You've been drinking, so let me open it. I promise to send you home with your birthday present, Xiaowei said as she stepped forward and took the key of Pagani Fengshan from Suwei, and looked at Shuang intentionally or unintentionally. Suwei, this is my gift to you. He Shuang was well prepared and took out a very delicate small box from her crossbody bag. What is this? Suwei couldn't help but ask. You'll know if you open it and take a look. He Shuang had a mysterious expression on his face. This is a watch? It's the latest model of Patek Philippe. Suwei couldn't help but be surprised. This watch is not cheap, it's more than 2 million. I'm not as rich as Aunt Xia. But I bought this watch with my pocket money. Do you like it? He Shuang looked expectant. Who are you calling auntie? He Shuang, I tell you, I've been enduring you for a long time. Xiaowei was furious. If I don't call you auntie, should I call you auntie? He Shuang immediately fought back. You little vixen, you old vixen, stop arguing. Suwei spoke up, and the two stopped, but they still refused to give in. Well, let's go. Suwei hurriedly took the two women away from Gishixuan, otherwise they would be treated as giant pandas. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.